Legends craze has swept the Philippines by storm. But out of this nation of gamers, a courageous few have dared to rise above the rest. Enter the first ever Mobile Legends professional scene, where gamers become pros and the daring becomes legendary.
Smash them!
This is the story of MPL. The first season of the Mobile Legends Bang Bang Professional League Philippines was the true start of the Mobile Legends competitive scene in the country. With the help of MET Events, the most established eSports events organizer in the Philippines, the MPL scored the country to find teams willing to compete for the unprecedented prize pool of over 2.5 million pesos. Digital Devils, OBS Gaming, and Aether Main headlined the inaugural MPL PH season. Top players such as Rebo, Yaku, Zaplu, Pakbet, and Jeff Cutie Forever also made a showing in the tournament. Popular community figure Akosidogi also made an appearance, not just as a shoutcaster and a pro scene pundit, but also through the team he helped groom himself. It would be Aether Main that would ultimately claim the grand prize on July 1 at the grand finals at the SM Mall of Asia Music Hall after a dominant 3-0 sweep over Digital Devils Pro Gaming. The team not only took home more than 1.6 million pesos, but also the title of the first ever MPL National Champions. The explosive grand finals was the mark of something new. A new eSports scene. The second season of the MPL started with the news that Bren Esports, the current kings of mobile esports, had acquired Aether Main's roster. This newly branded super team would then go on to become the champions of Mobile Legends Southeast Asia Cup, the MSC in 2018. Signal, the television channel, acquired the Digital Devils Pro Gaming roster. Filipino Dota 2 powerhouse Execration took under their banner OBS Gaming's roster. Even Aether, with their players sold to Bren Esports, attempted to rebuild their roster. The second season of the MPL would find Signal Ultra dethroning Bren Esports, creating the first true rivalry of the league. As Season 3 of the MPL launches with a fresh new theme for the summer, the professional players in the league would kick things up in their organizations. Execration's Jeff Cutie Forever left his longtime teammate Zaplu to join Archangel. As for the actual grand finals, Bren Esports, battered but somehow alive from the lower brackets, would meet Archangel in the grand finals.
So para sa mga sumusuporta sa Archangel dyan, mag-ingay!
At para naman sa sumusuporta sa Bren, mag-ingay!
Focusing on to pain, will this be the final divide?
Oh my G, Ribo ang natira dito kumakagat.
There we go!
Siya, si Kapitan ang natira.
A new champion arose.
Archangel
are the new MPL champions. But the reign of the High Flyers were rather short-lived as the MPL PH Season 4 saw fiercer competition. Geek Fam and Onyx PH, the two teams from the main qualifiers, came in with guns blazing. They replaced the playoff spots usually filled by the champions Signal Ultra and Archangel. Though Geek Fam settled for a respectable 5th to 6th place, their co-rookie almost had a flawless debut. Onyx PH was one game away from hoisting the MPL PH trophy, if not for the iconic a rival play from Sunsparks that snatched the thrilling grand finals off their hands.
Team Audit PH!
Tumayo dito sila Plaza. Ay, mayroon lang pala.
Walang minions! Walang minions!
Walang minions! Walang minions!
Walang minions!
Oh my God! Nice one! We have a game on!
Iyanto! Nako! He's
Iyanto!
going on the bottom step!
Let's go for the race! Binibigyan lang niya! That's it! You're champion!
Although both of them were still bestowed with the honor of representing the Philippines in the first ever M1 World Championship, their rivalry is only bound to intensify. After 4 exciting seasons of the MPL, the league has still yet to have its first 2-time winner. Those who used to be on top are now gone, and with the chaotic roster shuffle that transpired in between seasons, those who were once friends are now foes. These are signs that the league, after 4 seasons, is still filled with close games, miraculous upsets, and life-changing plays. Now, with the 5th season of the MPL upon us, who knows who will rise from the rest this time and claim the crown? Regardless of what happens, one thing is certain, that the Mobile Legends scene in the Philippines is alive, and there's no better time than now to start watching it.
Welcome to Mobile Legends!
Pababa at sa taas nila.
Oh, there you go. The Emergence went first of on the side of Onyx PH. Nakakuha sila dito rin sa Helgert. Pero kakatahan pabalik ako with the BMI. He was able to take down the Kaja. Pero ito, lalaban pa rin ang Onyx PH dito.
From yung ating Sunsparks.
Oh my God!
Pero ultimate coming from Dexter dito. Follow-up free. Blacklist International still trying to make their best to defend the base. Dito sa likod. More than died. Si Maring Killer pero Dilar will take another kill. Here comes Twice to the master. Speaking of buffs nga dito, Kuya Midnight, the turtle buff is now being taken by the Blacklist International at sila nga ang makakakuha mukhang another teammate na naman na nagaganap dito. Falling Star Moon coming from Aqua pero hindi siya ang makakuha ng kill. Instead, Killer will take the kill. Iyaku, nakupo with the counter and Inferno. Look at his HP.
Ay, ng Onyx PH ngayon, yung Esmeralda. Pero ito, as much as possible, they do want to contest this one. Yung turtle buff, malaking bagay yan para kay Aqua. Pero medyo mahirap kasi nga timing pa ng Blacklist to. Uy! Uy!
Natin ang isang carry once magkaroon siya ng correct item. Talaga naman kaya-kaya niya tumulaw dito. Pero naku po, medyo nagkamali ng time si Maring Blacklist doon sa loob. Here comes Dogman, still trying to chase Carl Easy dito. Makukuha niya yung Eye of the Storm natin. Susubukan tumakbo pero still Dogman on the chase. Siya ngayon ang hinahabol dito. You will find ang kalaban.
And look at the damage output that comes out from RTZ. Oh! The Divine Judgment! Pulling out the Diggy. Pero ginamit na rin yung times generator. No, kaso walang effect yan dahil suppression has been popped up on the recent patch. And nakipag 1v1 yung Claude sa carry. Unfortunately, doesn't have the damage and mapapalik pa ka na rin boss niya. Papatangke lang sa kanya. Kasi trabaho niya lang maging frontline for the Bruno eh. Oy, lemot!
The wins na ita natin ngayon. Grabe naman talaga ang damage. Pero here comes another ultimate from last dito. Napakatindi ng damage ng isang Bruno. Look at that! Naman talaga, RGP will fall down din yata dito mga bigan.
Proceed, get it. Bren eSports. Sabi, STI, this is very unfortunate.
Tapis buhay na buhay pero Wilson with that throw killing etong si Tamus pero they're going for Mon. May iwan oh my Venus and Venus will be dying in the hands of the barrier coming from this Lolita man. Dalawa yung naka-counter niya. That's gonna be the Lunox and the Kimi pero kaya na naman yung second skill neto ni Oh my Venus and the Luminon Blast. Napakagandang sipa din para dito kay Lunox and that Oh my Venus securing the kill and the Lunox pero hindi pa sila tapos. Natapon nila dito itong si Claude na shutdown naman nila itong si Claude at the same time ang BSD yung flow ni Angela ako sasabihin ko lang kung sino yung nagpapakulit pagka nabulitit ka ikaw talo pero ito kinulit na nga sa may bottom lane Tyrant's Revenge coming from Hoopline Tyrant's Revenge as well na huli nila
Your turtle resurrecting soon.
well sabi ko sa'yo it's a matter of race din kung sino yung mauunang
Bruno and Claude. May pakpak yung Claude. Merong Queen Swing. No, I'm not sure about dito si Jiraxu. Pero speaking of Jiraxu, very low on HP dito. Ako po yung silence natin will connect. Natalia is very successful on assassinating the carry of the enemy team. Kapwan dito na ipit sa likod. Kasama niya si Paring Wilson. Paring Wilson still alive. Kapwan will fall down. Pero hindi pa tapos. Wilson still trying to run away with the generation. Hindi niya na nga managawang
ng Claude or ganun yung bigay sa kanila rather ng Blacklist International. In the first place, hindi na hinahabol pero Tempest of Blaze tatamaan yung tatlo. Pero isang blazing do it lang kami from Claude kasi walang masyadong tower diving dyan. Itong si Aqua at mukhang Blacklist International ang gagawa ng clean up. Wala na magagawa dito yung Aurora and that's gonna be another kill para sa Blacklist International. Might be going for more as lower na dito. Very itong si Curtisi. Trying to know kung asan yung location dito ng Blacklist International na nakita nila. Gusto nila dito si Kaja. Kaja is the first one to do it. Coming from two. Makakapagay niya ba? Or rather siya pa? Hindi, buhay pa dito. Itong si Claude. Mukhang na-choke nila.
Sila on the go during this game, no? Pero ngayon mukhang mapipilitan na dito at Yasu.
Yeah. Tama, blazing do it lang na burst down agad nila itong si Kurt TC. Isang pasok lang yun ni Aqua with the blue buff lang. Partida, wala pang red buff yun. And the slow walking sun that ulti. And again, another Dark Knight pulse na wala silang na-progress at mag-iiwan pa dito si Exort. Uy, ang lahat ng Emergence dito na Exort. Pero, habol pa rin dito si Aqua. Aqua, hit at Angela inside and Kurt TC. Masyadong sakit. Look at the pop. Mga Purifies. Pag-take ng Lord, they will be losing a tower or two para sa side ng Geek. Pero, uy, ang ganda setup. Dark Knight Pulse. Asa na mga Purify na pop na napatry nila dito si Angela and even Edward. Nauna yung Purify pa before yung Dark Knight Pulse. Pero, iiwan pa rin dito si Aqua na nag-ipit din sa 5 or 4 ng side ng Hellcurt. Pero Hellcurt, Maniac, mukhang bibigyan ba ng sabi? Chabul pa, Dexter may immortality. Mukhang bibigyan ng Maniac.
Savage! Subukan nilang agawin yung blue buff dito pero kung magkakaroon tayo ng teamfight, Escanor very low on HP, still trying to run away. Pinahabol dito para hindi kaya patayin pero PH doon sa gitna naman talaga with the Tempest of Blaze. Pinantak ko lang yung Tempest of Blaze. Maidagdag ko lang, no? Kaya ganun pala kakunat dito sa parang Benny Cutie kasi nga meron siyang full space. Pero speaking of kakunat, si Deck dito walang kakunat-kunat. Basic with the ultimate dito. Naku po, here comes it. Slide in, slide out. Basic very low on HP. Who will be taken down? Nauna si Ansin. Sumunod.
Mas may kabayan pa. Kaso nga lang mo hindi matatapos ang story ng buhay nila. Escanor popping that vengeance. Pero hahabol at hahabol pa dito yung the rest of the unit. Pinasok nila dito itong si Hate and Hate to fall down. Zap na as well will be melting. Double kill for that Esmeralda base.
Pero ngayon, tignan mo mukhang magkakaroon tayo ng teamfight dito. Warcharge coming from Chaco. Another follow-up with the Pony Simon from Esmeralda. Look at the damage. The shields is being stealed by Esme. Here comes Chaco.
Natapos eh. Kasi bago pa siya makita si Tinina, nakita na siya ng kalaban. And
yung ating league, yung ating blazing duet na namamula kay Torrizi, hindi naabot ng Divine Judgment. Yung ating Kaja, ito na yung ibang membro ng Execration, Cupra. Pumapatay niya yung ating Hellcore, pero kita mo naman yung damage na binibigay dito ng Execration. Si Parik Ning, ganyan ako maglaro, mga sabi dito ni Hate, triple kill.
Damage, Exort still alive, pero hindi rin naman makakatakas in the hands of Hate. Ako po, meron pa.
Ako yung blazing do it pero sobrang kunat ni Chakno dito. Nakita mo yung kunat ni Zapno? Yung 8 seconds sa'yo, sobrang laki ng bigay. Para sa side ng execration. Pero Lord, makukuha yun ni paring right. Why not? And the rest of Geek Pam PH. Pero
Sky ng Kurt easy natin dito at CKTD on the go right now. Chakno dito, medyo na silence pa. Benny Cutie will try to run away as well as si Chakno. Pero here comes May. Oy, Benny Cutie sobrang kunat pero will be shut down by Kurt easy. Chakno still trying to run. Ako po, here comes Hey. Wala pa ring damage dito na ginagawa sa parang hindi.
doon sa pinag-stop. Pero kita mo naman yung damage sa pinag-stop. Execution mo, mapapatay na rin dito si paring May. PH. Sabi nila, dati kang tropa, pero ngayon kaaway ka. Pero kita mo naman, CKTD, the flash, the flame shot. Pero hindi. Kasama mo. Pakay ka, Diego.
May on the go inside this team. Ito still alive at the bouncing ball and May will take that kill. Naku po, mukhang susunod na rito yung octopus natin pero May still alive. Benny Cutie still harassing. Look at that damage. Wala pa yung masyadong item mga kaibigan. Pero kung makapang-harass even under the turret, tignan mo naman talagang hinahabol si Wine natin.
Yung nangyari kanina.
Ayaw nila mangyari yun, pero ito na, parang Baymax mo magkakaroon ka ng flash or flash Diamond
Ito,
Force.
tignan naman
Plus Insanity, paring Coco, patay kagad dito yung ating Grab. Dalawa kagad mamamatay for side of PSG. The way of the Dragon mula dito sa ating show. Pero kita mo naman yung damage yung binibigay dito.
Grabe!
Boss kagad. Masuk pero Cho, with the way of the Dragon, yung damage ng
Oy!
Cho, ito na yung ibang miyembro
Watch
ng Brain Esports, mga kaibigan, the Dynasty, Tirakbo, pero huling-huli dito ni paring Lasty sabay sa Coco, with the last insanity using the figure, mamatay si paring Trevor, umamatay na rin, Lasty,
Si Wilson!
umamatay, yung apat na miyembro ng BDSP, and kapuan na lang ng Golem, paano niya, dedependa nung kanilang lalo na kay
Pero ako,
yung ating makukuha yun ni paring PG, pero ibang miyembro dito ng BSB
Oy!
Dragon para kay Tibor and Coco with the last insanity and BSB ngayon takbuhan na sila. Ito na yung ating lalagyan natin kung paano kailangan supportahan ng Angela yung kanyang hyper carry. Kapwa will po na ito kay Coco pero wala masyadong damage. Mukhang may gusto mag-way of the Dragon dito ni paring Tibor, pero ibang miyembro ng BSB wala na, nagtatukbuhan na godlike mula dito kay paring team. 2 members na natitira sa side ng BSB ang gitna. Yun yung maganda kay Fogo, yung mga trap niya.
Rip Emos with the Jit Kundo para lang makalayo. He still on the wall and look at that damage. Last insanity is been activated. State of the best. Naku po, tignan nyo naman talaga. Binibita ang damage ngayon ng Brand Esports. Still on the go. Trevor trying to run away but the slow is there. Dataan yung nila will connect. Kapwan dito trying to defend pero apat sa isa naman talaga ang nangyayari. Immortality will be popped off dito pero Kapwan will ng Sunsparks ultimo yung jungle camps dito.
Wala no.
Hindi Omega. Wala na talaga sila mga look at draft. Please siyang ugar sa kakunat. Nilarkiti o sa loob pero makakamalabass pa rin. Boy na boy! Mamatay ng Kupo at GZ. Ultimate out pero here comes the ultimate of Martha. Brit will try to run away as well as Serafisa but will fall down. He is still alive pero tamang sayaw lang dito si LBJ gamit yung Esmeralda niya and there's the record animation galing dito sa Sunsparks. Oh my God! And that's triple kill!
Andito na rin si paring Hayes, yung ibang miyembro ng ating Sunsparks. The way of the Dragon mula dito sa ating show. Getting the grab. He will fall down, mga kaibigan. Haji si Kenji as well. Na yung moment natin the grab and yung ating show hit. So lalamang talaga pagdating sa HP bar. Pero ito, parang Kenji, nagsisimula naman yung ating laban dito. Mukhang mahuhuli na yung ating link. Pero nakakali rin ang nangyari doon for the side of Sunspark and I think Rafflesh siya. Nag-wait of it na si Kuya Payback pero hindi sa low HP, sobrang sakit ng
Pupulit ko pa will connect. Naku po, eto na, here comes another teamfight. Rafflesia will dive right inside way of the Dragon from this tube, pero here, still trying to chase GP away, but the Lord is now knocking on the base and I think
back at it again with some Mobile Legends action here at the Mobile Legends Bang Bang Professional League Philippines Season 5. Your boys in color. My name is Wolf, Reptar, and Leo, your analysts for this broadcast that we have right now. And all of this is brought to us and presented by Smart. And together with PLDT Smart Foundation, in partnership with Smart, we can help our frontliners as we stand together to be the real heroes in these challenging times. Support our frontliners through SMS by texting donate to 3456, and donation is open until July 16, 2020. MPL PH Season 5 is also brought to us by our sponsors, Realme Smartphones, Logitech G, our official headset partner, and of course, organized by Moonton. Lastly, do make sure that you check out our 515 e-party because it still is in a full swing inside your in-game clients. Just check out the video and join in on the fun. Reptar, Leo, what's up? How you doing? Okay,
Ooh,
Reptar.
Someone's microphone is still off.
You lost your voice, Reptar. You lost your voice. All right.
Did I find is my voice back?
It's your voice is back, Reptar. All right. How you doing?
There we go. Yeah. I'm good. Doing good. Slight mishap. Great way to start the show. I forgot to turn my microphone on. But I'm pretty sure that if my brain is not completely on today, definitely the players are going to be completely on. Since it is the final week and it's sad. But then at the same time, this is where all the drama really starts to ramp up, since it's like it's the last chance for a lot of teams to do well for the last week of the season.
Man, Reptar, I believe you're greater than your mistakes, and this is just the first and the only we are going to see, because the rest of the night is going to be amazing. These two matchups right here, they're between teams that aren't necessarily scared of dropping out, I believe. But you know what? It's going to be hot and it's going to be tight. Especially this next match, the first one we're going to be seeing Blacklist versus SGD. This is a matchup I'm looking forward to. 5th and 6th place. Let's get to it.
Yeah, actually, we will see the standings in a while, I think. One thing I want to take note though is that they have the same match wins and loss, right? And in terms of preparing for this, they have to be really prepared for their matchup. But I think who else is prepared for this broadcast? I'm sure our casters will show us a video of this of their preparations for this broadcast.
Battle, come and battle. I'm the real gamer at Rebel from Earth to space. We party place to place, honey, from Earth to space. Mobile Legends start the race. Party on. Game on.
Wow, so it's not all about having like suits and then boxers, but it's also having blazers on with your dance moves. All right, thank you so much, Say, of course, with that video showing us how she prepared. I do hope that we will see her with that dress, all right, and with that blazer. That would be cool. But
Can I just say, a part of me is embarrassed for Majin and Butters.
Yeah.
Not saying that their TikToks were bad. It wasn't bad. It was funny. But then Seiya comes out of nowhere, just completely blowing us all away with the moves and the effects and everything. And just
Seiya changed the meta. Seiya changed the meta, dude.
Yeah, she changed the meta for TikTok.
Oh, surely. The game has leveled up, to say the least. Now on to the order of business, boys. It's Blacklist International versus SGD Omega. The group standings, I think that we will show later, but just in case you don't know, it's 4 and 3 for both teams. They're situated at 5 and 6. So as you're saying right now, below Sunsparks, that's Blacklist International with 9 and 7. Coincidentally, SGD Omega will also have 9 to 7 in terms of their scores. So they are literally having the same amount of scores.
Literally the same.
Literally, yeah. So they still have 2 matches left, both of them, and their first match is gonna be played today. I'm looking at the next opponents for Blacklist and SGD Omega. Hang on a second, because SGD Omega will be facing ULVL. So that's one. That's their first one, and then Blacklist for their case, it's Bread. So. I mean, just looking at the group standings, just looking at the stats, I'm pretty sure SGD Omega have a clearer path to the playoffs, to say the least, the top 4. But what do you think about this matchup, SGD Omega and Blacklist, Reptar and Leo?
It's one of those matchups that I'm glad that we're seeing this late into the season, because I feel like there's a lot of expectations. First of all, on SGD side, going into the season and in the first few weeks, a lot of people were saying that this is most likely going to be an SGD or Bren finals we have here. But compared to the boys in black and gold, it seems like the boys in black and red seem to underperform compared to the expectations placed upon them. And at the same time, we didn't expect Blacklist to have a great start to the season as they did, but certainly they've sort of fallen off just a little bit. So this has to be most likely going to be a 3-game series, because both teams really are just hungry for that upper bracket spot. And honestly, the main thing stopping... Yeah, I do have to agree with you saying that SGD has a clear path here, but don't think that Blacklist isn't gonna put up a hell of a fight in this series.
All right.
Here's
How
what's
about you,
interesting about
Leo?
these two. We literally have the same numbers, right? They're fifth and sixth, but they literally could be just interchanged. And I think they're at five and sixth for different reasons. One team is forcing interesting drafts and are able to pop off of their new members, right? You got Aqua and Edward on the side of Blacklist. On SGD, you're still looking at basically the same people working. You still look at Hajizi, you're still looking at Kenji, you're still looking at Toshi to make those big flashy plays. But really, it's two different factors or two different kinds of Mobile Legends that you're seeing from these two teams. We've seen SGD go season after season, come into the playoffs, go really strong even into whether they're in the upper bracket or the lower bracket, and essentially do well. But Blacklist here, they've always been knocked out very early, whether under the Evos banner or even now as Blacklist. We saw them strong start, but later on, I think, as we're seeing, they're in the lower half of top 8. Again, Reptar mentioned that it might be a 3-game series, as I expect all of today's or even the whole weekend's matchup, since it is the last weekend. But also, I'm guessing all teams are going to start going for 2-0s because those are what's going to secure your top seeds.
Yeah.
And you want to be there. You want to be in the upper half of the top 8 because you want to chill when it comes to the playoffs.
Absolutely. No, there's a big difference, right? Because we're looking at Sunsparks and Execration, which are the top 3 and 4 teams, and then you have Blacklist and SGD Omega. Then you mentioned about them wanting to go for 2-0s because they do want to overtake and get to the 4th place. And honestly, if you think about it, for Blacklist and SGD Omega, their next matchups having 2-0s is what will separate them from getting 2 chances at the playoffs or just 1, with being in the upper bracket or the lower bracket. And I think that is big. That is huge, all things considered. Now, Blacklist International, you have Riddler, you have Dexter, you have Aqua, Edward Killer, and Honda Beast. I think we've talked a lot about this team, but what else can we talk about? I think one player that we haven't put the spotlight on is Aqua. This guy, a rookie in the scene, a rookie in the MPL, really showing up. But what about you, Reptar and Leo? Who do you want to talk about when it comes to Blacklist International?
The panelists and the casters said it last week. One of the things that Blacklist International have to do to really shine in a game is to allow Edward breathing room to play how he wants to play. Sometimes he's put into certain roles or positions that maybe he's not fully comfortable with, or picks that he's not comfortable with, and it shows. Those are the matches that Blacklist International usually loses. I'm not saying Edward is the MVP of this team, but sort of like if back in 2011 Lamar Odom was like the heart and soul of the Lakers, that's what Edward sort of feels like for Blacklist, because if he's having a bad game, then Blacklist doesn't have the game that they want to have, and it's harder for them to get the W.
No, I agree. Edward is one of those players in this current meta that can actually force a mage and do well. He's more than just a support role in the funnel meta. He actually brings the mage, he brings the magic damage in a world of Lings and Clods. So I agree, Reptar, I agree.
SGD Omega, that's Hayes, Hajizi, Kenji, Toshi, Heath, and Ninya. Of course, the SGD Omega squad, the boys in black and red. I think I mentioned this in the Filipino broadcast, like the first weeks. I feel that they are like the bad boys. At least they are the aura that they exude. It feels like they're the bad boys of the MPL. Not saying that they are evil. It's just that the way they present themselves, the way they are, they look like bullies in school. Or no, just kidding. Bullying is bad. Don't do it. But yeah, they look like they want to beat you up and have fun doing it when it comes to Mobile Legends, right? And it shows. It shows. Sometimes they get defeated, but when they win, they destroy their opponents. But I think that we mentioned earlier that this team has not been living up to expectations. What do you think are their flaws, and what exactly should we expect from this team, Reptar and Leo?
I don't know what's up with SGD, because on paper their drafts are really good. Their micro level play is there, macro there too, but it seems like at the end it's a cliche answer, but honestly, they're falling short, I guess, in terms of strategizing against who they're up against. The way I watch SGD play, they always try to play like SGD regardless of who they're facing. Now, it's kind of vague, but it seems like SGD have a certain way of playing that they always want to try and execute. Okay, it's like this, it's like this, it's like this, not really taking into account the nuances of the teams that they're up against. And we all know that, yes, teams want to play the games that they want to play. But if you're not tweaking or adjusting your strategy to the team you're playing, then you won't be able to get the win, which we've seen. I mean, remember last week, SGD went into last week going up against Onyx PH. They went 2-0 against Bren. But then out of nowhere, they get 2-0 by Onyx PH. And it was pretty one-sided in both games. So that's what I'm basing it off of, that SGD, it seems like they seem to still lack that slight nuance to their strategies going into games against certain teams.
Great catch, Reptar, on SGD's performance being here and there, since they are able to take down the beast that is Bren, but lose to Onyx in another series. That's odd. Those are your 1 and 2s. But what I did notice is as well, maybe looking at a more macro scale. I got 2 points here for SGD. One is maybe there's some fatigue, or there's some there's a sophomore slump involved, because SGD out of the MPL is just taking names. To be honest, you got the gold medalist in Dale. You've got Kenji. You've got Hayes. These guys, they've got a lot on their shoulders coming in from the off season, and that might be coming into the MPL here. And maybe that's where you take being the bad boys, Wolf. Maybe because they feel it, they know that they're the best. And now coming into these matchups, maybe they do lack the time to consider what the opponents are doing or what the actual strategy should be. So they're not adjusting as well as they should. But the other way I'm looking at it is maybe their draft also needs to adjust. Maybe Dale has a few missing notes on his little notebook. Maybe he's lacking the foresight of someone else. Because I'm not sure what the coaching situation is at the SGD HQ, but they really hit it off the park with the Angeling combo. But they're not making Popol and Koopa work, or the Hellcurt that they tried to field in their last series. So I'm guessing here those are some things that might be going into play, because that causes SGD to be performing the way they have.
So now we actually have the draft, and I kind of want to pick up on what you said, Leo. I feel like there are some ideas from SGD Omega that are off, but this is a result, at least from what I see, this is a result of them having too many minds, or I guess too many ideas that they want to make, what they want to make possible, right? And it happens so much. I think that's also apparent in a Blacklist International, that they have so many ideas. Sometimes it's an overload. Yeah, what do you think, Reptar? I think you want to say something?
Is it?
Yeah.
Real quick, is it like is it too many ideas coming in from the same sources, or you think it's too many cooks in the kitchen? Because sometimes as a coach, you listen to too many people and your strategy gets kind of saturated. Which one do you think it is?
I think here's the thing. It depends on. It's very hard to say, but it depends on the people there. I think that only a few teams can have that too many ideas going in for them. That's literally Onyx PH. They know what to do. Their fundamentals are good that they can have many ideas. But for SGD Omega and some teams, man, they are so primal in how they operate, and they want to just outplay their opponents. That's what I feel with SGD Omega, right? But nevertheless, we're looking at drafts. I think these are standard picks. I think the new kid in town, or at least the comeback queen, is Esmeralda. Esmeralda is making waves. This hero is doing great recently. Actually surprised. But what do you feel is the closing drafts here for picks here for Blacklist and SGD Omega, Reptar, and Leo?
Your team.
Well, with the carry gone now for them to pick up, that's most likely going to be the Bruno going to the hands of Blacklist International, unless they think that maybe the Granger might do better for them. But considering how you're gonna have the Esmeralda diving in your face, the Jawhead gonna be coming into having the Wave of the World animation, slight knockback and slow from the Bruno might be really good here. So that's probably going to be the marksman pick going into Blacklist International. SGD, though, they still have a lot of possible picks that they can go for. They still don't have a main tank unless they're planning to go for a non-tank setup here. They might want to pick up the Grok now. Kufra is going to be a great pick also. We all know that Kufra is just he's vanilla, but he's vanilla that always has like a hint of cinnamon in it. Like it's very basic, but it's always really good.
Bruno.
And that's what we've seen Kufra to be in this entire season. What I do want to point the attention into here, though, is the Esmeralda pick. I feel like this is really gonna mess up Killer's Uranus here, because we've seen in other casts that we've had just how badly a Uranus fares against an Esmeralda.
What do we guess? SGD Omega. Oh wow, Leo. Do you think Chango is going to be picked here, or perhaps? It is.
You know what?
Ooh.
I think I like it. I think I like that Chang'o. And because I was gonna say, Blacklist lineup is so soft, y'all. Blacklist lineup literally only has the Uranus to last long. But that aside, they really are a glass cannon. So that's what I'm feeling right here. That's what I'm feeling. It's Blacklist International. They're going for, like they want to shank SGD. They want to be quick and fast and then get out of there.
As a Uranus player, I kind of experienced this Django versus Uranus, and I thought that I will be able to tank it through, but no. With a glowing wand, you're gonna melt.
It hurts.
And I kind of feel what Leo felt here. I think SGD Omega is gonna take this game. How about you?
This is definitely going to be SGD here. The Esmeralda pick versus the Uranus pick alone. Very soft lineup, as Leo said, for Blacklist International. And that Chango pick is going to be absolutely killer for SGD if they get to make it work.
It looks like a 3-0 from the panel for SGD Omega. Is this the panel's curse once again, or is it going to be different? Now I think the casters will want to take this one. Take it away, guys.
Thank you very much there again, Wolf, and the rest of the analyst desk. We got Leo, and of course the one and only Reptar. It's me, Rockhard and Seiya here on the caster desk, and true to her form, she is sporting that blazer like Wolf graciously requested. So thank you for that, Seiya. So we have a pretty interesting game, Blacklist versus SGD. Again, it's gonna be basically these guys fighting for 5th, right? Because they look like they're in 5th and 6th, but they're on the exact same win rate, exact same number of matches. Who do you think takes this home?
To me, draft-wise, overall, it's SGD Omega, simply because they're well fundamental and they have that high survivability rate in terms of staying in game for as long as they could, because they have the Esmeralda, they have the Kufra, aided as well with the Jawhead, and all they have to do is just to really protect the core damagers, which is the Claude and the Chang'o.
So we got a 4-0 here apparently, and we are gonna get into the game very soon. I think you're absolutely right, but I feel like Blacklist is one of those. They have this draft that's really, really good when you're in a ranked game and you want to finish the game quickly. You have the Kaja early on. You have the early damage by Farsa as well. Riddler can also do some pretty crazy stuff a lot quicker than the Claude can. So I think Blacklist might actually have a chance here. But again, I'm probably going to be proven wrong for the one. Let's wait and see here as we go into the Land of Dawn for the first game of the last week of Mobile Legends Bang Bang Philippines Professional League season. Regular season has been really awesome. I think you would agree with, and teams are really showing that they're polar opposites, right? Except for the two teams that we have right now.
Definitely, because I think both of these teams have a very different way on how to strategize things, hence the reason why they have such similar win rate in terms of our standings. But right now, both of them thinking of the same thing, just really go and scaling and getting some farms, and Hayes just applying visual into the map. That's like it kind of adds a info to your teammate, where you could initiate a team fight.
Yeah, I expect actually the team fights to really start going here. The moment we see Honda Beast level 4 on the Kaja, same with Edward on the Farsa. On the other side though, again Hajizi wants to take the fights a little bit slow. Veteran Hunter Claude, you know what he likes to really farm up. And it's gonna be up to Toshi and Hayes to really keep the control on top and mid lane with the help of the Esmeralda and that Jawhide. That's probably their only early game power spikes aside from Kenji, who already has the cooldown boots locked in. As I said earlier, Hayes really does want to just scare them away, which is what a Jawhead really does very well, right?
Right. Because I mean, it's I think it's mostly about how both of them, like what I said earlier, like really take this. Because if you notice, onto the top side, Blacklist is opting for a 3-mana, but you know, SGD Omega here will be going to the rescue. I think this is a potential team fight. Way of the Dragon's going to be used onto Hayes, but they will still catch up. But the thing is, Kenji's going to be here with the meteor showers and just really harass the members of Blacklist International, and that's first blood for the side of SGD, but I think it's not yet done. But Killer here really know how to groove and will decide to go for that tower hug.
So, two things. One, absolutely correct. The moment they hit level 4, they will want to team fight. We got that right. But second of all, we did not expect Toshi to really pop off. Great falling star moon on the choke area and then get the advantage. That is huge for SGD Omega right there.
Yes, indeed. And you know, the thing is, Kenji right there during that team fight was really utilized to its efficiency, and the good part of that is that he was in a great position to actually use his ult. And it kind of give you a slight of a pressure for the side of Blacklist, because sooner or later they have to make up for the loss that they had just early into that skirmish fight.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
so far it's still too early to conclude.
That's true. Best way to do a meteor shower over the wall, but right now, again, that kill gonna be taken really quickly there by Blacklist International, as they are starting to eye that turtle take, which should be very, very easy considering Hajizi is all the way on the bottom side of the map. We'll be going over to the Bruno, but of course the revenge is gonna be there for Hayes onto the Uranus. Quite unexpected, but definitely very welcome for the red side. Top lane looks like it's gonna be receiving a lot of pressure here for Blacklist International. And again, all that time, Hajizi got a tower on the bottom lane. He's got a kill in exchange for a turtle. I would say a pretty even one.
Indeed. I mean, that was a good steal from the Bruno, really, because Kenji really used his ult for that turtle. But again, Wave of the Dragon is going to be used by the Esmeralda with the Falling Starman to really prevent it from cutting it off. Meteor Shower is going to be used, and it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade for both SGD and Blacklist. But again, here, transitioning to the middle side of our lanes, just, you know, it's good harassment for both sides. But going back to the setup earlier, I will agree with you. Oh, okay, sure, Blacklist had the turtle on their hands, but in exchange, though, SGD Omega still manages to pick off one of their members, so it's even Stevens.
Yeah, in SGD Omega, they're very happy to take those trades. As long as Hajizi doesn't die, as long as he keeps popping that veteran hunter, getting all of that gold, as well as, again, as long as you can get a trade, as long as you don't lose something without getting something in return, they are fine with that. They want this game to go and get prolonged. They're gonna have the optimal team fight later on, and that's why there's a timer on Blacklist International right now. A timer to get stuff done.
Speaking of timers, with all the fiasco happening here on the top side, look at the Esmeralda from down below with the help of Claude earlier, just really split pushing. And this is one of the disciplines that we have been seeing for the side of SGD Omega. You know, they don't really focus on really picking off the members of their enemy. I think it's more of them really getting control of the map, and I think that's quite really useful for the side of SGD Omega. But then again, I think the call of Blacklist here is just really grouped together for this contested turtle one. So again, okay, this time it won't be stealed, and the Droid will get a killing spree by cornering up that Bruno.
And they just really don't care, right? They're just fighting everywhere they can. A great kick there from Aqua. Pick up on the Chang. Oh, Kenji. Going down real quick, Hayes. What happened? All right. So, it might have been a miscomm there. They might have been busy communicating. We'll have to wait and see. Oh my god, that is not good. Not a good sign at all. We're going to have to hit pause on that one. Oh my! Oh my God!
Yeah,
Well,
it was
you
pretty
know what
evident.
it is. Pretty
Yeah,
evident there.
I mean,
I think the hurricane
you don't
outside
need to
is
state the obvious.
obviously. I think the hurricanes are taking their toll. By the way, everyone in the Philippines. By the way, you guys stay indoors. Hear there's a
Yes.
typhoon coming, and it's very hard. So hopefully it's nothing too big and something that SGD can recover from. I think that was basically them. So SGD,
Yeah.
that was an unfortunate pickoff. And we're gonna have to discuss that later on, how big of an impact that was gonna make. But I think I like the sportsmanship on the other side. Everyone stopped moving the moment
Yes.
they saw wait, something is off here. Great sportsmanship from Blacklist. Great commend. So
Yeah.
what do you think? What do you think so far? So far, so good here for SGD still, right?
Yeah, indeed. Because before the obvious happened, I think that wasn't supposed to be a pickoff, you know. And it was I kind of saw the route that the Chango was aiming for, and that was to really go back to their turf. But with circumstances at hand, I think that was one pickoff for them, which is pretty a normal reaction actually. But it kind of gives a big impact, especially for the side of Blacklist, because that's one contribution to actually make up for their loss earlier into that skirmishes fights that SGD was actually being advantageous at. So that's something they have to consider. And for the side of SGD, though, even though that thing happened, they're still onto the winning side simply because they managed to have that control in terms of the map area.
Yeah, such a powerful early game control, despite having a huge disadvantage in the later part, in the earlier parts of the game. Again, great control from Kenji as well. I mean, the pickoffs are a little bit unfortunate, but I still think that they are on the right track here. I'm actually looking at the replay here on my phone because obviously there's a little bit of a delay for everyone who's wondering, hey, this is online. There should be a delay, right? So I'm watching it right now, and I actually can tell that Farsa he's trying really hard to create early game pressure. But the thing is, everyone on SGD, they're just so mechanically gifted. They're avoiding each and every engagement that Blacklist is trying to do. And again, great attempts on Aqua. I think Aqua is the key player here for Blacklist International to make those pickoffs. So far, great effort, but always being negated by the plays that everyone's doing there. I mean, I can already see the Chang'o was already on the way and he got kicked off. So I think even if that didn't happen, I think Chang'o would have gone down. I think Hayes was the only one who was the victim of that unfortunate incident. But overall, great play on Aqua for making a good kill over a very unfortunate invade that was happening for SGD. So I feel like SGD, you're still in a great position to actually make a comeback from that. The goalie was not that big of a deal as well. So I think when we get back into the game, it should be even Stevens. But in an even Stevens game, who gets the advantage, right?
Yes, that's the thing, because both of these teams have a really good mix on keeping the equilibrium up in terms of gold. Okay, sure. They're rallying and, having this kind of a rally effect wherein if you get the turtle, we get the kill. If we get the kill, we get another pickoff. And those are one of the disciplines that you have to consider for both Blacklist and for both SGD Omega. But we'll have to see, because I'd like to add on to your point earlier, especially for Edward with the Farsa. The thing is, the hesitations in terms of giving that damage for the side against SGD is, you have to take into consideration that the reason why it's because, not to hesitate in terms of being feared of getting picked off, but the hesitation is because it can't get a good position. And speaking of good position, it looks like SGD is the one who's going to go for this tower dive, but he's blazing duet with a Claude right here for a pickoff.
Well, I told you, they're in a pretty good position still, despite giving away a kill, which is happening right now, though. He's jumping in, bumping into a tower. Quite unfortunate, but it works out in the end. Heath with a kill there on the Kufra, and that meteor shower. Excellent zoning from Kenji. And now Blacklist, I'm wondering what kind of counterplay are they gonna do against a team that should not be in the lead, but they are.
Yeah, I agree because look at how Hayes catapulted one of the members of Blacklist. If I'm not mistaken, it was the Farsa or the Kaja. He catapulted it in a very good position so that the channel could really zone perfectly. And again, I love it how they transition from one lane to another, and this is just happening so rapidly. But again, still keeping the discipline and the objectives at play right here.
Absolutely. Great discipline, but overall, again, great positioning. This time by SGD, all of the escape routes were covered, so there was no way that they could enter that area. Again, this was so reminiscent of Hayes way back when in Season 1. He played that Jawhead and became the first champions of MPL, so no doubt about the skills of this guy on that hero whatsoever.
And of course, this is just good allowance for SGD. But look at that beautiful pick-off still, utilizing the mispositioning of Hayes right there. But again, the meteor shower will be used to harass and, really shove away the members of Blacklist International. But again, like what I said earlier, that was a good allowance for SGD Omega to just really go for those turret takes, added gold onto their sleeves, and still gaining control over the map.
Yeah, that's actually a big amount of control that they have gained through the period of around 1.5 or 2 minutes, which is quite saying something considering, Blacklist International, they still have, I think they're still in that spike. The problem is they cannot utilize it because of the team fighting prowess that SGD is showing here in this match. So right now, what we're experiencing here is a bit of a lack in terms of Honda Beast getting targets. We haven't seen a big money Divine Judgment yet, if you notice. Same with Aqua. I think the last kill we saw was on the Chango, and that was just his position.
Beautiful pick off by the Chango with Kufra, but again, the Divine Judgment will be used to pull, but the Flicker is going to be on a timely manner to go and escape, and that was another turret take for the side of SGD Omega. And Rockhart, I'd like to add, in terms of lacking, you say, the initial strategy of Blacklist International just really going all the way into the early game is starting to dwindle because we're into the middle game right now, and if you can see, Hajizi is given a lot of space, a lot of resources, and it's pretty evident in terms of his damage output.
Yeah, that was actually super unfortunate in Hajizi right now. Even though he's only 1-0 and 3, he hurts like a bomb. Right now, though, it's gonna be the bomb, the heat bomb, going into the targets once more. And Blacklist, they are on the run. What a very well-placed Tyrant's Revenge there from Heath on SGD, allowing them to get control of the Lord.
This is becoming one-sided right now, Rockhart, because in terms of turret pushes, unfortunately, Blacklist International wasn't able to push even a single one. And this just leaves the whole, in terms of resources, really limited for the side of Blacklist, because the only things that they have now are the minions that are really going in towards their turf. And looking at the positions right now of SGD Omega, they know that the Lord is on the top side, so it's going to be aided by at least the Jawhead. And look, they're planning for this all 3-lane push, if you could notice, and the Farsa right here is just doing his best to just try to give a little space for his teammates.
Yeah, I think the feathered airstrikes from the Farsa aren't really making their marks as of yet. Trying to steal turtles, trying to steal kills, not really working out so far for Edward, although he is 2-2-2, and right now top lane will be the focus here of SGD Omega. Lord is wailing on that tower. He misses with the Tyrant's Revenge, but will still get targets that they want here on the top side. Tower will stay intact, and mid lane is going to be the transition. What's going to happen here? Great Divine Judgment there onto Honda Beast, but he still managed to make it out. Riddler will get a kill on the Hajizi. That is going to be huge.
And that is a huge, a leeway for the side of Blacklist International. That gave them enough space because it made SGD Omega go back to their turf, back to their bases, and go back to just really gather resources. And that was a very good kickoff, actually, for the side of Blacklist. And it was in the hands of Riddler, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely. On the Bruno, of all people to get that goal, that's the last one that SGD wants to give it over to. But looks like we are not going to be done just yet. They are trying to see if they can find another target here. Aqua dashing in and out with Jeet Kune, though. Now, they are going to be finding one on two. Esmeralda Toshi is in grave danger. Manages to make it out in time with the rest of SGD coming in here for the backup. And now SGD, they are waiting and still kind of recovering from those failed attempts. But the gold lead is just staggering right now.
And it's really going good for the side of, again, SGD Omega. And I think that the, it was a potential fight. It was. But the thing is, I kind of noticed how really the reflexes of SGD Omega is at play. Okay, Divine Judgment is going to be used right there, Rockhart, but still, Flicker in a very timely manner for the side of the Kufra to just really survive that potential pickoff, rather. And going back to how SGD Omega is really doing right now, they're not really on a rush to push these turrets. It's more of a patient for them, just really waiting to pick off at least one or two members of Blacklist before actually going for the kill.
Yep, again, Blacklist International just hanging on by the skin of their teeth here, able to defend top side but gives away the mid anyway. And that just goes to show how powerful SGD Omega's marksman is right now. Jeezy, 1-1-4, he doesn't care. He is just gonna cut through towers like a hot knife through butter. That is happening right now. Onto the heroes as well. They are so scared to go near Jeezy.
Definitely, because like what we said, SGD Omega doesn't really prioritize more on the kills, but rather more on the resource takes and, really applying pressure to the side of Blacklist International. And they're doing a pretty good job at that, because so long as you get the job done, so long as this Esmeralda, Kufra, and the Chango, as well as the Jawhead, will really get the pickoff that they wanted and allowed Hajis to get some space, the kills wouldn't really matter. But at this point, he manages to really, compensate those by just getting all the resources that he needs.
Yeah, really proccing that veteran hunter. I can't really count. I wish they gave us like a marker on how much gold you got from that veteran hunter, but working out well so far in the end anyway. Does not need any kills, just needs to get all the gold right now. Oh, great divine judgment there on two. Heath, that's gonna be a Kufra, down for the count. Toshi though makes a big, huge falling star moon, gets that kill just right back, and now it's gonna be two people down here on Blacklist. Can they defend the only three people here? No marksman, no Riddler. I think this might be the end.
Yes, indeed. And again, that's a flicker, and that was a potential eject. But again, the Kaja was an inch close to safety. And Falling Storm is going to be used. We'll be getting those. But I think the base is going to be destroyed right here. Really focusing onto that. But again, no minions to really aid them up. And, this is the thing. I think SGD Omega is still going to finish this because, ladies and gents, you got it. You have seen it. The patient game from SGD Omega.
Slow and steady won the game here once more for the guys in black and red. SGD Omega take game one out of Blacklist International.
But looking at the
I would say
stats,
I would say super obvious from the prediction. Everyone knew it was gonna happen. I feel bad, right? I know.
Well, I'm not gonna say because we did know that Blacklist International is really known for that early game potential. But the thing is, it's really about how you execute all of how you put into play the draft that you just made, and SGD Omega did it because looking at the post stats earlier, it's pretty evident. The stats speak for themselves, and I'd just like to add, during that fight, it was kind of a miscomms at first because it was a separate thing. if you notice during the highlights, but I think the panelists will be the one to discuss that for us in a while, because I really want to know what happened back there. Wolf and the gang, take it away.
Thanks so much, Rockart and Seiya. We were, I think, correct with our predictions, but you know what? There's one thing that I realized when I was watching their draft. Only power interruption could have helped Blacklist win that game because of how ridiculous the draft went in favor of SGD. I thought it was one-sided, but I didn't think it was this one-sided. SGD Omega are literally just cruising through because of the strength of their draft. But Reptar and Leo, what did you see in that game?
Oh no,
Reptar,
Reptar's microphone again. Oh no.
They're gone. Oh, there we go. There we go. Am I back? Am I good? Am I good?
Yes, you
There
are.
we go.
Yes.
Okay, as I was saying, it's how the two marksmen really made the most out of their veteran hunter pickups. Both Riddler and Hajizi did it. Riddler spent more time roaming around with Blacklist International. Yeah, getting the farm, but at the same time, still trying to get the kills as well. But Hajizi, by like the 6th or 7th minute, was already level 14. That's because Hajizi spent more time away from fights and really just focused on the farm, non-stop rotating. He was eating up lanes and pushing it up, and Blacklist spent a lot of time roaming together from time to time, 2-3 or 1-4, trying to get the kills. And in the long run, that just made it so much harder for Blacklist to climb back up, because every time they forced a fight, the Claude was already had the farm that he needed. He had the items that he needed. And yeah, I feel like one of the things that really stood out here are the difference between how the two marksmen played the veteran hunter style.
Yep, I agree. But really, what really sold it for me was the draft. I think going into this, again, Wolf was right. The only real thing that could really stop SGD from taking game one was a power interruption, but that didn't happen at all because Hayes still went ham. 4-8. Again, there's so much that a Jawhead could open up. It's literally a -1. Between a Jawhead and a Kaja, I think this meta is currently saying, yo, the Jawhead is just a better choice. The damage output, he's able to really just pick one off and say, you know what, you're out. I'm done with you. Kaja really needs a little bit more of follow-through. But again, looking back at this game, Blacklist versus SGD game 1, besides the draft, I think really the only few things that SGD did wrong was early on, they were pulling out some sour moves. You know, we saw Toshi fall, and we saw Hajizi get taken out by a rogue feathered airstrike. But really, that was just here and there. And for the most part, I think the earlier deaths on the side of SGD were just ways for them to make space for Hajizi. So you could forgive that. And again, they won. So who are we to say?
Yeah. Let's talk about the Chango. I think that we saw Kenji play this in a very good manner. Played it in the side lanes, if I'm not mistaken. Now, there are two schools of thought on how we tackle this. One is, yeah, surely Kenji can play almost any offlaner now. Can play any hero, put it on the offlane right now. I think that's how ridiculous Kenji is. Then again, the second thought is maybe this is because of the draft. I'm not seeing Chang-O gonna be played in the offlane if it were a different draft. I mean, it was very specific. In this game, Chang-O was a freebie. There was only one problem that he had to face, which was the Kaja, but it wasn't that much of a problem anyways because the Kaja will have to focus on something else. So I think Kenji and the rest of the gang on the back of the mind of Coach Dale here pulled off the Chango because of the conditions. But maybe very quickly, what do you think about this hero? Should we look into Chango as a niche pick nowadays, or do you think that it's valid in the meta that we have right now?
I would think that it's more of a niche pick, wherein if you face up a lineup like this, that Blacklist brought out, which Leo pointed out, had a pretty soft front line, then go ahead, pick up the Chango. Even if that one frontliner is just Lolita. Yeah, eventually Lolita can turn it around and just toss back all the charges of the shield to hurt you. But in the long run, that's what's going to happen is that if you have a stronger front line, which SGD did have against Blacklist International, they can just keep constantly applying the pressure and keep pushing back your opponents because they have a soft front line, and Chango is safely far in the back with the meteor shower, and that's what we saw time and time again. The front line of Blacklist was just overpowered, and SGD's front line, Heath, was just a sacrificial lamb all the time. It's like, I don't care, guys, just finish the job. I'm fine here. And yeah, that's when you pick the Chango. If you have a strong front line and if your enemies are expected to have a really weak one.
Yep. I like it. And again, I agree. It's not on all the time, every day, 365, 24/7 pick. It's not gonna be as Michael Jordan-y as Claude or even Cho these days. Man, can you believe it? Cho's been around forever. But Yeah, I gotta say, just like the Angela, there are only times when Chang'o is going to perform just like this in the hands of Kenji. And I think you're right. It's because of one, Blacklist had a very soft front line, and two, I think they were just really matching toe-to-toe with Farsa's range. You know, with that kind of capability to just clear waves from afar and to push people away from your Bruno with the feathered airstrike, they just needed another answer. And given that, there's a lack of a front line, that meteor shower is just going to shred through what Blacklist is putting out. So again, with a Lolita or someone to just really body block, someone to peel for Blacklist, that really could have solved a few problems. But you know, that lineup was a little greedy. You're going to ask me. So the Chang'o really just did work.
All right. Now, there's a lot of talk about Uranus as we head into draft of game number 2. There's a lot of talk about Uranus. It's the top
I know
pick
you
of the
want
season.
to bring this up.
No, I don't want to. I want to, right? But here's the thing. I mean, guys, you have to put a little less value now to Uranus because of the fact that there are so many counters around it, or itemize differently. I think teams, even me, when I started to choose Enchanted Talisman over anything else, I kind of feel that Uranus is losing his grit, you know, his tankiness. I would feel that teams should prioritize getting some defensive item first and take the load off of Uranus in terms of dealing damage. I mean, there are hundreds of them, not really, there are tens and many other heroes that can dish out damage. Don't put the damage output on the Uranus. You don't have to. Uranus should be tanking kills. In this situation, hopefully Blacklist International should rethink this. I am a fan of the execute and the pull yourself together strategy, but put some defensive items on this guy first. Yeah, what do you think about the draft?
No, I agree.
What do you expect, boys? Yeah.
Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. I would like to dub myself as the third best Uranus in MPL eSports. You got 8G, yourself, you got Delara of Onyx PH, and then you got me. I think I've been outperforming in my ranked games and when I'm studying. But no, jokes aside, you're right. Uranus, he's a lot like a sledgehammer. You know, he's a lot like a sledgehammer. He's able to do damage, but he's cumbersome. You can pick him up first if you know what you're getting into, but don't expect him to always perform. So I think a lot of us, you're right, are over evaluating what Uranus can bring. Sure, he's a safe pick, but yeah, people are starting to pick up. People are starting to learn that there are counters, that there are ways to stop Uranus. And with a lineup that just doesn't work, like, you know, he's not a tank, guys. Never ever think that Uranus is a pure tank. So with that being said, Blacklist needs to learn their lesson here, but it looks like they're drafting the same way they did in game 1. Exactly. Both teams. What's going on?
Exactly. Honestly, I'm scared for Blacklist now. The fact that they brought out the Uranus and the Kaja right away. I mean, if it's broke, fix it. And that's what I'm trying to I want Blacklist International to see. SGD Omega, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And they're not fixing it right now because it's not broke. The Claude, the Esmeralda, and the Jawhead were really big for them in the last game. So if we just end up seeing the same picks here, I'm still going to lean towards SGD Omega. Why would you show up the Uranus and prioritize it as a first pick, knowing that the Esmeralda was already an option for SGD and they made it work? Answer, probably because Blacklist has something else up their sleeve to counter this Esmeralda. They if it's still the same picks, I don't know. I'm still gonna lean towards SGD. Blacklist though. Oh, there we go. Something new. The Kagura though.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Hold up. Yeah,
I guess
this is Edward's Kagura. This is Edward's Kagura.
I think, I agree. So, you know what? I think that this the only difference now for Blacklist is why they are still confident with the Uranus is that this is a second pick for them. So at least they will have the last pick. However, SGD Omega, I still firmly believe that they have won the first round of the draft. Rafaela and the Atlas gonna be picked by SGD Omega, meaning this is a side laning Jawhead, I would say.
Bruno.
Oh man. Yeah. Oh, no way. So it's gonna be a support Kagura.
It's 80% the same. It's 80% the same lineup.
And I think
both
that
teams.
So I was 100%.
No, you changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an Atlas. Okay. There's an Atlas though. I'm sorry, not 80%. There's a little bit of a difference.
Oh man. Oh, does this mean that we are just 80% confident now that Blacklist will lose this? Is that what it is? Yeah, Reptar Leo,
I don't
what
know.
are your thoughts on this?
Give me a second. I
right.
stand corrected. It might not be an Edward Kagura, but you know what?
is.
Given this
That's
whole
awesome.
shakeup, there's a lot changing on the side of Blacklist. I gotta say, even if there is that change, I still believe SGD is gonna come out with this, and this might be a 2-0. That's my prediction.
Yeah, real quickly, the Atlas and Rafaela pick just put the nail in the coffin even deeper. This is a 2-0 SGD. Sorry, Blacklist.
All right. You know what? My mind says it's gonna be SGD, but kinda wanna see this Kagura pick be successful. So I think I will have to vote. Well, my guts will vote for Blacklist. I don't know if I'm still in the game, but for now, let's. Why not we? All right, there you go. I kind of lagged there a bit, right? So I voted for Blacklist just for the sake of wanting to see Honda Beast beasting it out with the Kagura support. I wanted to see it in public matches. Let's go. 2-1 from the panel here. I hope I'm right. Casters, let's rock hard and say, take it away.
Oh, you're muted, Are you here, Rockhart? Are you with us? Are you?
All right, yeah, I'm
in
here.
our
There you go.
press?
I don't know. My mic muted on itself. I don't know what happened. Anyway, welcome back here on the caster's desk here. Saying Rockhart coming at you with game 2 here. Blacklist International and SGD Omega. So they're coming in here with an if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm kind of broke, you know. My pockets are empty. Can you fix that? I'm just kidding. So I'm guessing you're going SGD again, obviously, because
I have
same
we
thing,
have
right?
this principle. Yeah, we have this principle that fix something. Why fix something that is not broken, right? But in game 1, the Blacklist had 4 similar heroes, and they lost to these 4 similar heroes. The only thing that changed was Forza sub it up to Kagura. We know already that it wasn't efficient during game 1, but I don't know. I'm gonna go. My vote's gonna be for SGD, but I would like to see. I will agree on Wolf. I just want to see if this Kagura will be efficient, but I highly doubt because of the pick of SGD Omega's Atlas, aided
absolutely.
with again the Esmeralda. So SGD for me.
Well, they do have an Atlas that just makes it so much harder, I think, for Blacklist to do what they really want to do, which is to actually pull off a huge Divine Judgment here. I'm still not counting out Blacklist as of yet, because this is a team that is currently 5th or 6th, right? So they won't do the same things with knowing that it's gonna happen the same way, right? I feel like they just need a little bit of boost in that previous one, and I think they might just have it here. So we are going to find that out very, very soon here as we load up into the map for Game 2 of SGD Omega versus Blacklist. Kaja against this team, probably not the best way to do it. I feel like I would be super hesitant to use Divine Judgment when there's an Atlas in the middle of the fights, unless like there was some way that the Atlas was going to be losing out on his comrades, right? So I feel like there's still a lot of room for SGD to mess up, but Blacklist again, I think they will be on the back foot. Muscle memory will serve SGD a lot better, and they also have that factor. I feel like they're a lot more confident. They played super confident in that last game.
Yeah, I agree, but seeing at the drafts right now, this is your initial strategy. What if in this kind of perspective, okay? Now that they have the Atlas right here, this is gonna be an easier setup for the side of SGD. Fatal Links, followed by the Falling Star Moon to really contain, followed again, or maybe the Jawhead's ejector right there, just to really clean it up. But for the side of Blacklist, Kaja here being most efficient if ever, so they managed to pin down either the Rafaela or the Claude. Because if you're going to pin down the other 3, they could still have that shot into really escaping. And based on to the overall draft of Blacklist, they don't really have that super mobility to really back it up, if ever so that their victim manages to escape. You know what I mean?
That's also what I'm thinking about, because you don't want to pull Toshi, you don't want to pull Hayes. So Kenji is gonna be super vulnerable if you can find Kenji on his own. Same with obviously Hajizi. Thing is, will that happen? That is my thinking here.
Because we've already seen that SGD Omega is giving a lot of space in terms of the Claude right here. And the Rafaela really has that good harassing potential. And I don't think within the later minutes of the game, this Rafaela is going to go alone. Because I'm pretty sure that this is going to be aided up whenever they will be starting skirmishes fights or team fights per se. So going back into what we have right now, Rockhard, still back to the fundamentals, them scaling one by one, just poking each other out into respective lanes. But I think they will be transitioning here to the bottom side.
Yep, it should be quite easy to get messy, down and messy with SGD here, and then find Kenji or find Hajizi, right? It sounds like it's gonna be easy, especially if it's a full-on collapse with Ikagura. Yin Yang Overture really messes up the team fight and sometimes can really give advantage to the team that has a Kagura. This might not be it though. Again, that's the biggest problem. Can they actually pull the trigger? And will SGD Omega allow them to pull that trigger? Because they can just negate that by not clumping up together all game. Right? You can do that. You can just not team up.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. But again, speaking of clumping up together, that was the initial strategy of Blacklist International, if you notice in the early minutes of the game. 3 people on the blower side, and again, looks like Heath will be the one to be harassed. But like what I've said, this is still too early, and the Jawhead is tanky enough, you know, and it's really near into a very safe area. So I think that was a bit of a missed comms in terms of calling the shots for the side of Blacklist. But going back to what I said earlier, they are clumped up together into the early minutes of the game. That leaves a lot of space for the Claude and, you know, a very half XP for those 3 members that I saw earlier. If I'm not mistaken, that was the Kaja, the Bruno, and the Kagura earlier.
Kagura, yeah. Right. Which is, I don't know if that's going to be getting into play though, as we do see Heath going in with Unstoppable Force. They lock it in already on the Riddler. That is 1 down already, the biggest damage dealer aside from Edward. Will it be a turtle take though? It will. Going over to Hajizi, making short work of Killer in that Uranus. Blazing Duet to clear up the minion waves, prepping rather, for the push. Will be counterflowed here. Edward, huge minion overturn, but no follow through. Coming from Blacklist International, SGD comes out on top of that team fight.
I cannot. Rockhard, did you see how the Cho Way of the Dragon to Claude, but before actually getting the kick, the Jawhead used the ejector against it, and that was a beautiful play done by the Jawhead. Really timely manner. It really prevented from Claude Claude getting picked off, and that was a good timing, really. And wow,
come on, Claude, you gotta have that on the replay.
Yeah, you really
get
have
that on the replay. We want to see that again. Top lane though, again another use of the ejector locks down one more target. On the bottom lane, it's a different story. Blacklist, they will get one more tower, but overall, SGD doing really good in this game so far.
And this is what we've been talking about earlier, Rockhart. We were correct in terms of, you know, really protecting the squishier heroes for the side of SGD. And this is leaving Blacklist International into a pinch wherein they can't really, you know, divide judgment one of the tankier targets of SGD Omega. But speaking of that, ejector is going to be used, but I think that's just going to be opted for a harassment. Considering in terms of population, there are more members of Blacklist onto the top side. But that left Rafaela and company to just really go for that third take.
Yep, that tower really short-lived here. Again, SGD has Haze, and the power of the normal attacks of Heath are also quite scary. But again, they are suffering a lot of damage here. They are still not out of the woods just yet. They must not be super overconfident, or else they could get caught out here. Is what they're doing. Hey, Heath on the front line. Oh, huge phalanx here. Gets the cleanup, gives the kills over into the cores of SGD Omega. Oh man, Blacklist International now bound and bruised here by SGD. Blacklist, they are now nowhere to be seen on the map. That is beautiful teamwork there from SGD. Wow.
See, this is what I've
So
been
many
referring to earlier. You get Jawhead gets an ejector. Okay, this is the replay right now. They will be ejected, the game overturned, but the Fatal Links will be there accompanied by the Blazing Duet. And that is what you have to really avoid when you're really facing this sort of lineup. That was a beautiful cleanup. That's what I say. I think one of the most cleanest setups that we have when we see SGD Omega utilize this. But again, going back to the points that I said earlier, this is what makes them scary. Because the moment you get pinned down by the Jawhead, follow it with the Fatal Links, because for sure there will be aid when someone gets ejected from the side of Blacklist, right? Once you get Fatal Linked, it will be aided up with the Falling Storm to immobilize you and just have that Blazing Duet to just really clean it up. And that is the threat level that these three could really get. And this is what we're seeing right now again for the second time around. But the Divine Judgment will be used to really prevent that setup from happening.
Okay, a little bit of overconfidence, I would say. They did not really need to take that. No minions were nearby as well, so they probably wouldn't have transitioned that into a clean push anyway. But still, we were talking about how easy it is for SGD Omega to just really layer all the crowd control alongside Heath, alongside Hayes. And they did that earlier. And the pickoff that we're talking about, kill onto Kenji, that might be a super critical turning point. However, Toshi takes it back here with a kill on the Aqua.
And again, Ejector will be used to pin down the killer right here. Hajizi will be using his kits, but I think he manages to go on a safer distance. And of course, objective-wise, SGD would still be sticking into this turtle take, really securing that and not leaving any room for resources against Blacklist.
Yeah, because Blacklist, obviously, all they can do here is just cower in the jungle while being hunted down by SGD Omega. And I think they do have a little bit of sixth sense going in here. And Honda B is going to be the first one here to see the power of Hayes onto that awesome Atlas. Again, the reason why you guys were really turned around here is because of the Atlas on the predictions. That is absolutely coming true right now.
And again, like what I've said and look, what we've been saying earlier, they are not really giving any space. Flicker and Divine Judgment in. It's gonna take a pick off right here, really diminishing the potential that SGD has. But again, it's gonna be stuns all over Fatal Link. And that was gonna be a Rival Tower Knight at last, going all out with the help of the Blazing Duet of that Claude right there. And you know, Aqua here going on the run, but Hayes is just gonna follow him all through. And that leaves Claude with the space onto the top side. But again, Aqua trying his best to survive. Will he though? Let's see if he is able to escape with two people on the chase. But look at the bottom side rather. It's just really gonna go all the more exposed while all the fiasco's happening. This is a run, chase here going for the dog right here. And I think
all around the map.
Okay.
I thought Aqua was gonna pull off some crazy shenanigans there. Apparently that was all the skills he had. Oh man, was that all worth it? I'm not sure. Probably. They probably saved their base overall. But Hajizi is still able to get the bottom lane tower over at SGD. Again, with the help of all the supports here. Mid lane might be the next target. Fully buffed up, fully stacked up. Hajizi 2-0-6. Golden Staff just getting completed. That might be the nail in the coffin right there. The trio that's needed for a Claude to be super powerful is already locked in.
Indeed. I mean, we've seen earlier that ring around the rosies to the map. It could have been worth it if his other members were alive and actually going for a pickoff or defending. But then again, going back right here into our games right now, SGD just abusing the map control that they have, going in for the Lord before going anywhere else. And the problem here for Blacklist International is that, okay, sure, the Kagura has the damage. She has that, especially when the Yin Yang overturn is going into play. But the problem is they can't get a good setup. Why? Because they lack the initiator. Okay, you have the Cho with the Way of the Dragon, but where's the follow-up? Because the thing is, the Kaguras should be into the back lines to avoid getting picked off. And that is what SGD is abusing right now.
Yeah, and overall, the abuse on the lack of initiation for Blacklist International, they have that Kaja Divine Judgment. They can't use it. You have a Yin Yang Overtone, which possibly could still be fatal to SGD, but there is no opportunity to use, to press that button to get into the team fight. And overall, Blacklist, they're waiting and waiting and waiting, but SGD, I don't think they're gonna give it.
Yeah, because the more they wait, the more resources that SGD will just really go for the taking, you know? And like what we've been mentioning earlier, okay, the Kagura has damage, it goes for the Yang Overturn, but is denied by the Atlas's Fatal Links. And that is the thing that makes SGD really lethal. And by lethal, just looking at the pressure that SGD is inflicting on to Blacklist right now, I think it's gonna be over real soon.
Yeah, I think that might be the case here. Lord will go down, but there are no more inhibitors. Let's go! One more smackdown into the back line, but looks like not gonna be enough to wipe him out just yet. Blacklist, they are able to take down 2 members here of SGD. Will the remaining members go for the coming team fight? I don't think so. They are able to defend in the last minute, but Hajizi, he's still alive. Goes for the BMI going now. Will he spot by Honda Beast? Will this be a kill? The Honda Beast, he sees the image, but will not be taken onto the bait. Wow, Blacklist, they're able to pick up a team fight at least.
Barely, actually, because you have to take note, though, during that team fight, the Claude was, still not into the vicinity. And for the side of the Kaja, into the Blacklist, that was a good call, not really entering to Claude, because you'll give him another free gold for the taking. And going back to that fight earlier, you have to take note as well that even though it was a good defense for the side of Blacklist, Claude was not there. You have to put into the question, what if he was, right?
Absolutely. Like right now, full item Claude. Like, oh my god, you better be careful, right? A big leaps and bounds different from the place Riddler is right now. 5,000 gold to be exact. But that will be a pickoff, possibly. But again, no damage output available yet. The Blacklist, everyone is scattered all around the map. And it looks like Hajizi gonna be in the middle of the fight this time. No more leaving his teammates and giving all the kills over to SGD. I think, come on, I think it should be, a little blunder there by Kenji. Does not matter in the end. They will go for the big well take. And the kill goes over to support. The win goes over to SGD.
Yes, sir. And look at that amount of, we just want this over and over. I mean, he's really confident with how tanky he is, just going into the base of Blacklist International, really creating a statement right there, Rockhart.
Absolutely destroying. Blacklist International there goes inside the well, the fountain, I don't know what we call it here. They basically just don't care anymore. I think Kenji literally intentionally baited the flicker to see if something would happen. But no one took the bait, obviously. Because at that point, man, it was the SGD game all over. That's a 2-0 real quick for the boys in black and red.
And it looks like the scores will be up for grabs for the side of SGD Omega. And this, you just have to take note earlier the reason why you cannot divine judgment at Jet, an Esmeralda, or an Atlas. But more of that analysis with our panelists back there. Wolf and the gang, take us away.
Thanks so much, Rockhart and Seiya. You know what? Hayes is half man, half amazing. That's what we talk about him. But I think SGD Omega, they're perfectly bad, but they're so good at it.
And that's because I forgot what I wanted to say. I got so excited.
All right, you're so excited, man.
Okay. Let's try it again. Okay, go,
Yeah.
go, okay, go.
Let's try it
You
again.
remember,
SGD
alright.
Omega with Hayes, they're perfectly bad, but they're so good at it.
Cause Hayes kills and chains excite him. Man, just oh my goodness, Hayes. I'm sorry that was so cringe, but dude, Hayes has just been absolutely crazy in that entire game. He's now my new favorite movie, 50 Chains of Hayes. Just chain after
Man,
chain.
I don't know if that was
Crazy.
worth it, but alright.
Oh yeah. You know what? Let's try to not kid around here because SGD Omega, they're not kidding around at all. Particularly Hayes on this Atlas. I think that at some part of the draft and during our off-cam discussions, we were talking about Hayes being unstoppable this game, and that's exactly what happened in here. I think the only death that Hayes had in this game was when they did this ultra sour dive onto the base of Blacklist
Super sour.
International. Super sour, man. But all things considered, there wasn't a world that Blacklist International could have won this. And if we were 100% confident in game one, we are 80% confident this time. And it is true that SGD Omega really just trampled over Steam. Leo, what did you feel about the game, and do you agree? I think we all agree that Hayes deserves
Yeah,
this
dude,
MVP.
I love it. I love the Atlas pickup here. You know what? I saw what Blacklist was trying to do. They tried to fix what issues they had in game one, and they really believed in their lineup. You know, this Uranus, Kaja, Bruno. They really wanted to I don't know, force the issue. You know, let's just strong arm it. But really, they just walked into a worse situation. This is an Atlas. So anything that you would throw at it, it just wants to pull you back in. And it's funny because whenever there would be like a big team fight, you know, 5v5, mano-a-mano, battle royale style, it would just literally be all the members of Blacklist jumping up and down. You know, you've got Fatal Links, you've got the Ejector. It's ridiculous. So yeah, Hayes here was just very much enabled. And I don't know, man. It really felt... Blacklist was just it was I don't know, man. Really, what comes to I was just so distracted by that. I just gotta be honest. But yeah. Blacklist. What they were doing, what I feel was, you know what the definition of insanity is, right? It's doing the same thing over and over again, expecting something new, and you're not gonna get the game 3 by doing exactly what you did in game 1, friend. So I just felt bad for that. But hey, we were right, 2-0.
Yeah,
and to continue that thought, I just want to say though that both game 1 and game 2 was the same for SGD for both teams. It was just it's like game 2 was just game 1 magnified. It was SGD even doing better SGD and Blacklist at a even worse spot because the lineup that SGD brought out in game 2, just swapping out, I believe, the Kufra for the Atlas instead, along with introducing in the Rafaela. It's just that made what they wanted to do, what they did in game 1, even easier to do in game 2. That's why we just saw the exact same game from SGD, but even harsher looking for Blacklist because of the Fatal Link setups that the Atlas provides.
Yeah, which I like. Before we move on, I gotta say, in game 1, they were plus minus. They were hot and cold. You know, there was the Chang'e for the range, but really the Kufra wanted to come in anyways. But this one, it was just a dive comp all the way. They just wanted to fight you face to face. They wanted to get up in your grill and then just ruin you. They wanted to bust a cap in you, if you will. So with that being said, again, it was just SGD doing what they did in game 1, even better.
Yeah. And you know what? We always say that insanity is doing the same thing all over again and expecting like a different result. So that could be said for Blacklist International. On the flip side, though, I think Blacklist International, the fault that they did in this game, particular game, in terms of the draft, in terms of how they played, was they have a different idea of how to approach Mobile Legends, and unfortunately, it doesn't work. Meanwhile, SGD Omega, they have mastered this craft, strategizing. They have one hell of a coach, that's Coach Dale. And they understand completely what they want to do, and Blacklist International seems like they're lost, and they have to find themselves now. They will have to face an even bigger threat. I think they're gonna face Bren Esports next. Okay, I'm gonna look, and yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Also, I think because of the results, there is no way anymore for Blacklist International to make it to top four. I feel
Yep.
so. That's a repercussion of what happened in here. Nevertheless, you're still watching MPL Season 5 presented by Smart. Together with PLDT Smart Foundation, in partnership with Smart, we can help our frontliners as we stand together to be the real heroes in these challenging times. Support our frontliners through SMS by texting donate to 3456. Donation is open from April 22 until July 16, 2020. MPL PH Season 5 is also brought to us by our sponsors, Realme Smartphones, Logitech G, our official headset partner, and organized by Moonton. And you know what Moonton also organized? It's the 515 e-party. It's today. Yeah, just logged in and joined in on the fun. Do make sure that you check it out yourself in the client. The video, the music video. I mean, it's still up in there. So that's it for game number 1. For series number 1 of this broadcast today, we'll still have another one later. It's going to be Sunsparks, the defending champs, versus ULVL. What will transpire? Well, find it out as we return to the break. See you after this.
Still waiting for your epic battle? Wait no more. Make the switch to Smart LTE. And experience greatness with the country's fastest mobile data network. Are you game to be great? Now you can with the new Smart Giga Games 99. Get 1 gig data all day, every day, for Mobile Legends and more. Game to be great with Smart Giga Games 99. Let's go!
Realme 6i. Unleash the power. Realme smartphone. Dare to leap.
Still waiting for your epic battle? Wait no more. Make the switch to Smart LTE. And experience greatness with the country's fastest mobile data network. Are you game to be great? Now you can with the new Smart Giga Games 99. Get 1 gig data all day, every day, for Mobile Legends and more. Game to be great with Smart Giga Games 99.
In time minus 10.
The situation
9,
is critical.
8,
The data doesn't
7,
seem right.
Check pressure. It can't be stopped now.
4, 3.
Okay, get ready.
1. Launch.
Game on, party on!
Time. Defeat the enemy, I'm full of energy. I can lead a team to victory. Got the first blood, too legendary. Taking you all out, go RIP for another layer. Ay. Let me see you moving, never gon' stop. Ay. Epic fight queen, that's so hot. Ay. Let's celebrate, we got 2 shots. Come and battle, come and battle. Ay. Let's hit the next level. Ay. Come and battle, come and battle. Ay. I'm the real game, right rebel from Earth to space. We party place to place, signing from Earth to space. Mobile Legends stop the race. Party on, game on, game on. Party on.
There'll be a party every night. Don't hold your breath, let's play tonight. Game on, party on. Tell me who you're gonna be, that's on your mind. No one can stop, it's time to shine. We are young, things will be fine. Danger comes, I won't hide. We are leading the trend tonight. We are young, things will be fine. Danger comes, I won't hide. Legends won't fade away tonight. Party on, game on, game on.
This is how we be topping a session. One family, that's how we present it. We got fans from all over the world and come together and we show them how we do it. Form team, fight for justice. We all gon' make it worth it. We gon' fight for the purpose. Fighting the evil with crystal brightness. Come and battle, eh. Let's hit the next level, eh. Come and battle, eh. I'm the real game right rebel from Earth to space. We party place to place, I mean from Earth to space. Mobile Legends stop the race. Game on, party on. Party on.
Game on, party on!
Experience the youth suffering.
Legendary! Legendary! Triple kill! Maniac! Legendary! Double kill!
Greatest.
Legendary! Our turret has been I don't want to grow up. Legendary! Double kill! Legendary! Come! Double kill! Legendary! 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 Triple kill!
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
In time minus
The situation is critical. The data
10.
doesn't seem right.
Check pressure.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
お願いします。
はい。300円です。3, 2, 1,
It can't be stopped now.
launch!
This is how we be talking a session. One family, that's how we present it. We got fans from all over the world and come together and we show them how we do it.
Party on!
Game on! Party on!
Welcome to my castle, my friend. Rook is powerful. Rook doesn't want to be your enemy. Rook likes sleeping.
You have slain an enemy. An enemy has been slain. Monster kill. Mega kill. Killing spree. Killing spree. Mega kill.
Let Rook go first.
Unstoppable.
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Ages ago, under the protection of mighty dragons, our world used to be prosperous and at peace. Though that was before the vicious Kraken and its minions broke through the magical barrier. Everything changed thereafter. To protect the human world, the Guardian Dragons waged an arduous battle against the Kraken. However, little did people know about the Kraken's secret power that deprived the Guardian Dragons of their energy. Ultimately, all the Guardian Dragons grew weak and debilitated. Running out of options, the Guardian Dragons had no choice but retreat to the Dragon Sanctuary, a place initially constructed by humans as a safe hold for the Guardian Dragons. With what little power they had left, the Guardian Dragons created a magic ward that was strong enough to withstand the Kraken's fearsome attacks. At the same time, they called upon all human warriors to protect the world from evil. Eventually, the first champion who successfully passed through the ward and the dragon trials heeded the call from the fiery dragon. Even the difficult challenges await him on the path ahead. Only by facing his deepest fears can the champion embrace his true destiny.
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
What's up? Back in action for MPL Season 5 with the beautiful boys in here. Wolf, your panel host with Reptar and Leo. You're still watching MPL PH Season 5 presented by Smart. And together with PLET Smart Foundation in partnership with Smart, we can help our frontliners as we stand together to be the real heroes in these challenging times. Support our frontliners through SMS by texting donate to 3456. That's DONATE to 3456. And donation is open from April 22 until July 16, 2020. All right, MPL Season 5 is also brought to us by our sponsors, Realme Smartphones, Logitech G, our official headset partner, and organized by Moonton. Be reminded that it's also May 15. It's the 515E party still in a full swing. All right, and I'm pretty sure that when you check out your in-game client, your Mobile Legends client, you're gonna find it there and actually just logged in. Make sure to join in on the fun and check it out. Reptar, Leo, how's the party going in your houses? And I did not receive the memo that we should be wearing black, by the way. But yeah, how you doing?
Oops.
Well, I'm not wearing black. There's actually like a deep dark purple, but I don't know. It makes sense. You're wearing a lighter color since you are like the sort of panel host that we've got here. And how's it doing where I am? Well, yeah, it's hot, literally, because my AC is still broken, and at the same time, the action being showed by our teams and our players here are really, really hot. And I'm excited to see what is gonna come out of this next matchup between ULVL and Sunsparks.
Oh dang! You mentioned your AC is broken, dude. I had the same thing like a month ago, so I was like melting for a good week. But luckily enough, I found someone to fix it. But that's neither here nor there. Again, we're talking about the last match of the night, and it's the first day of the last weekend of the MPL's regular season. And yeah, after that 2-0 sweep from SGD on to Blacklist, man, I think we really see the teams here, man. They're showing their fangs. They really want them 2-0s to really lock themselves a good slot for the playoffs.
And the thing that it's already decided that we are going to see like Bernie Sports and Onyx PH in the top spot, but Sunsparks wants to. They still have a chance. I mean, to make it to the second place. If I'm not mistaken, I'm looking at the standings right now, and it's 5-2 win-loss record for Sunsparks. And in terms of their matches, it's 12 wins and 4 losses. So this is actually really promising. At least if they win back-to-back 2-0s and Bernie Sports won't win anymore, they will have a chance to get to the second place. But that is actually gonna be hard to see because I think Bernie Sports are gonna be facing Blacklist. There you go. Well, it's bad. All right, but ULVL, nevertheless, at least they have inched their way into the playoffs. It was both lucky and a little bit. Oh, it's actually not both. Just one, at least for me. They did work hard for this, but I think they kind of got lucky in terms of like their group stage standings. While Sunsparks, of course, the defending champs, very good at what they are doing. Let's kind of talk about the earlier team. It was ULVL. This team, I think that the topic that's always brought up when they are talked about is their practice. But let's not talk more about that. ULVL, they aren't as experimental as other teams. They're not as creative. They are so predictable, at least the way I see it. Right, and that maybe is their problem. But for you, Reptar and Leo, what are the faults of ULVL? Why are they finding a lot of trouble in the last 5 weeks that we had?
Well, at the start of the season, even in the qualifiers, ULVL, when they were going under a completely different name, they were experimental. However, the problem with that is, they got into the regular season, it's sort of like they couldn't find their good foundation. It's like they were hopping from foundation to foundation, and they were, surprising, unexpected at times. Sometimes it worked, but most of the time they seemed confused out there in terms of what kind of identity they bring into the game. in the last few weeks, we've seen that stabilize just a bit. Now that Basics also back in the lineup, they were even able to take a game away from Execration of all teams, which is a really good team right now, third place in our regular season standings. So hopefully at this point, it really has to be now that ULVL has found their solid foundation, has found their identity that they want to roll with if they want to go for a respectable run in the playoffs.
Yep. I agree. Again, Reptar here bringing up the fact that yes, in the earlier weeks of the MPL and even in the qualifiers, ULVL was known to be that team to bring out these weird picks. And Wolf, I have to disagree. Even currently, right here, right now, in the last week of the MPL, I was watching their last matchup against Execration. They still bring out these weird picks. Zask is still one favorite for Unseen. And I think they're one of the few teams that's able to pull off a respectable Natalia, again, on to Unseen. But I think one of the few things that's really keeping them down is the one fact that they have a weird identity crisis.
Yeah.
I'd like to compare them to their last matchup. They're the team that they fought. They went 1-2 against our third seed, Execration, because they seem to be a lineup that focuses on to that one hero or that one player that can pop off, and that's Basic. I really think that Basic is their Zapnu, and now him coming back, this might be a way for them to once again find that safe spot. And they've got nice role players. They've got Chu, they've got Unseen, they've got Escanor. So yeah, there's a lot here that ULVL can do to steal away a game or even the series from Sunsparks.
Yeah, I think that you guys both made a fair point. That maybe I did undervalue the creativity that ULVL wants to just want to show us. Yeah, surely they do pick up creative heroes or creative picks that we haven't seen. But to me, the criteria for you to be creative is to be actually successful with it. You just don't like put an abstract painting and hope that everybody likes it. You have to make it sure that it works, right? Picasso,
yes.
His abstract is good actually.
Yeah. I agree. There's two parts to that. I mean, one is to go crazy, and the other is to actually be successful with it. And you're right. A lot of what ULVL brings to the table is a coin flip. You'd say, a die roll.
That's right. Now, into the draft, ULVL, they first picked Esmeralda. Who would have thought that after 5 weeks, or at least 3 weeks after the long break, that we are going to see Esmeralda back at it as the queen of comeback. She's back.
Yeah. And the Esmeralda pick being first picked here by ULVL, not that surprising considering how in the game 2 that they had against Execration, it was the Esmeralda play of Basic that really brought them back to the series and why they were able to take a game away from Execration. So that's a good pick. Even against this the Kufra and the Jawhead, it's an alright pick. It's not that they're really hard counters to Esmeralda, really. Jawhead generates shields. Esmeralda can eat that up. But now they're also going to be pairing it up with a Claude and a Valier. So they're really doing everything they can to push away this Jawhead and Kufra with that Valier pick. And that's going to be picked up most likely by Unseen, which earlier, Leo, you mentioned that Basic is ULVL focuses on, okay, let's see if we can provide the environment that Basic can pop off in. At the same time, I feel like the Scottie Pippen to Basic right now is definitely Unseen. If Basic's having an off game, if Unseen can have a really great game, then ULVL still in it.
They can pick up, definitely.
Your team is banning.
Looking at Ling here from Sunsparks, I normally see Ling struggle against Esmeralda, but that was before when Esmeralda was a main mage. Now Esmeralda is played like a side laner. It's either on the off lane or on the safe laner for teams, which makes me think that maybe Esmeralda isn't that good against Ling anymore. And the bigger factor that you will favor Ling over Esmeralda in this meta is because you can burst down Esmeralda before she is able to snatch those shields away. That's probably why Sunsparks are so happy with it. I'm not gonna be surprised if Sunsparks pulls off the Angela or of course the Cho is not a surprise to pick at all. But yeah, Sunsparks, if they do pick up the Angela last, I'm not gonna be surprised buy it. Now, ULVL, what do you think is their
Your team
answer
is
here
picking.
for the Cho, Kufra, one-size-fits-all type of draft?
Well, they're gonna need to lock in a tank. A lot of availability here. Atlas would be a really good one too. Just to play it more defensive-minded. Sunsparks do have a fair amount of all of them have really good dive potential. The Cho, the Ling, the Kufra, and the Jawhead. So the Atlas will negate that in the sense that, well, not completely negate, but more of like, if you get dive too hard, if you save up the fatal links, at least you have a bit of insurance that your team's and your backline is going to be okay. Uranus, though, Leo, how do you feel about this Uranus pick by ULVL?
I like it. This is a total opposite of what we're used to. We're so used to seeing Uranus in the first 3 picks, but now I think ULVL understands that Uranus is not just a blunt force instrument. That you kind of have to find ways to make Uranus work for you. It's not always gonna be, oh yeah, just take Uranus, put a mask on him, put him in the offlane, he'll be fine. I think they understand it here, and I'm excited to see how Escanor brings, the flavor of the month, if you will, onto this matchup against Sunsparks. But yeah, last pickup here for Sunsparks is going to be that Farsa. Interesting how that's going to interact with this dive comp that ULVL is going to be bringing to the table. Real quick, I need a few seconds to evaluate these two lineups.
Yeah. You know what? I have taken my time. I think Sunsparks, the only ace that they have right now is the Ling. But apart from that, they might struggle against the ULVL. But you know what? I can't bet against the defending champions. I'm seeing this Ling gonna be able to take off. There's this Claude is gonna struggle. So here's the trade-off, right? Sunsparks, they have weaker side laners compared to what ULVL has, but their hyper carry is gonna have a better time against ULVL. So ULVL on the flip side will have good times for their side laners, but their hyper carry is not gonna have it. So I think I might favor Sunsparks with this trade-off that they take because they are the defending champions. Raptor, what do you think?
For me, a different take on prediction here. I'm just gonna say if Unseen has a hard game, then I'm gonna give this to Sunsparks.
Okay. Never bet against Baloy. I gotta say, Greed is a crazy man. So Sunsparks has my bet here. I just gotta say that last pick, Farsa, I like it.
All right, so it's gonna be a clean Sunsparks panel this stage, but let's see what Rockhart and Seiya thinks about this. Now, take us through the action, casters.
Again, thank you very much. Top-notch analysis from the cast analyst desk there, Wolf, Raptor, and Leo. Back here to give you the action will be myself, Rockhart, and the beautiful Seiya sporting the yellow headphones and the awesome blazer. And we are going to be giving you game 1 for ULVL versus Sunsparks. So, Sunsparks defending champions. Our analysts agree that this is not going to be any different. The Farsa will be compensating for the almost full melee composition of Sunsparks. And on the other side, it's scrappy as ever. With ULVL, Atlas, Uranus, they got great fronts and they have a balanced lineup, but execution might be the big problem here because Sunsparks, they know how to make this work.
Actually, I agree with our panelists. And how about you? What do you choose? Do you choose Sunsparks as well, or do you want to go crazy and go for ULVL?
Honestly, ULVL feels like it's easy point and click, ultimate, let's go for the team fights. But if one of those things fail, if a big falling star moon fails, if the fatal links catches only 1 or 2 members, I think that might be it for ULVL. So as much as I want to see the underdogs win it out here, I gotta give it obviously to Sunsparks.
To me, the composition of ULVL was okay. I mean, it started great. There's the Esmeralda, the Claude de Valier, and then you top it off with the Atlas and the Uranus for, they really took their time into really considering how long are they going to survive in every team fight. So I like that kind of research that they did. But the thing is, what really shifted me was really the Farsa pick. Okay, the first 4, Jawhead, Kufra, Ling, and Cho. Okay, I was already leaning into the depths of, okay, Okay, what will happen into their overall damage output? Because I'm pretty sure that the Ling alone won't be able to won't be able to cover that. But then came the Forest Epic and like, oh, okay, so okay, this is their complete glue, the complete glue of all of the Sunsparks' draft right now. So it kind of transitioned me quickly because, like what our panelists say, you can't really underestimate our defending champions. So as much as I too want to see something interesting from ULVL, the draft really speaks for itself. And speaking for itself, it looks like we are already into the battlefield rock hard between game number 1 of ULVL and Sunsparks.
And it is looking really, really spicy here. Again, everyone on ULVL, if you don't notice, they are on Purify. No one's going down, or at least they're going to try not to go down here against Sunsparks with a lineup that looked like it was an Angeling lineup, but then suddenly shifted into a Farsa by Greed. And Greed is the one playing it. Greed has always been highlighted by our analysts as one of the best in using any heroes that he uses. And that might be speaking for itself on the other direction, as Deb will take on First Blood here for ULVL in the mid lane.
So far, that was a good call for the side of ULVL. Really, being greedy right there and just being a bourgeois and just really go all out. I mean, they know that they're still in this kind of gold wherein it's not enough for items, but they really were greedy. But you know what? In exchange, Sunsparks will take something in return for them as well into the early mids of our game. And that's not all. Look at the knockups that they're insisting on. And Seed and Farsa will go for the cleanup, but they're not yet over. Will they be killing Chu right here? Yes, they will with the help of Farsa's range. And that was a good way to disengage your fight. That was 1-3 rock hard. Really.
Double kill for double kill for Green, and JP coming out with 1. Man, that is absolutely monstrous performance, and all of the main damage dealers getting a big bunch of that gold. Sunsparks won out phenomenally in that team fight, and now we will have to wait and see what ULVL does in response, because their Claude here on Chu is not even level 4 yet. That's a big problem. And that might be the problem that we'll be facing on later on as this game progresses.
Definitely. And you know what? I kind of noticed that Sunsparks right here, they really know how to compensate for what loss, what pickoffs is ULVL bringing into them. And this is what we're seeing right now in terms of the draft. Okay, they have the Claude, sure, but you have to take out the Claude, needs a little bit space. And speaking of this space, looks like the Ling will be going for that tower dive along with his members right here, but the Atlas will be getting a kill for himself. But up to the Ling has for a trade. But looking at that, the way the Dragon's going to be used against Escanor right here, the Flickers will be used to go out, and Claude will be having that kill alongside with Uranus.
Resurrecting soon.
Absolutely crazy team fights here coming from Sunsparks and ULVL here. Again, ULVL this time around, they kind of evened that up. They really got into the groove there, getting everything they needed from the initial team fight, and then you saw that they really went ham in the later parts of that fight. But now, the problem is, again, the gold still went over to the Ling, and that is something that we cannot ignore, because the Ling, obviously, there's a lot of eggs riding on this Ling basket right now, and they are somehow making it work.
And the thing is, I just really love seeing this rally plays, and I would like to commend ULVL for this, simply because usually in all of the matches that we've seen, well, not really all, most of the matches that we've witnessed, is that ULVL, once they're kind of pinned down, it's kind of having a difficulty in escalating themselves. But right now, the discipline that they have, really waiting for the Sling to utilize his ult first, then goes for that cleanup, is something that you have to take into account, because this time, I think ULVL is really learning their lesson. They're waiting for Sunsparks to just use their skill sets, and when the time comes when it's on cooldown, they're the ones who's going to strike back, and that's I think one of the things that evened out our early game right now.
Despite, everyone just going, hey, let's go Sunsparks, ULVL, they're showing that they can still bring that flavor to the table by using the full amount of crowd control that they can possibly do, and then just force Sunsparks into team fights, and then just get an advantage by using Purifies.
And speaking of gold, it still goes down to objective takings for the side of Sunsparks right here, and it's already kind of a statement as to why this is necessary, because of course you would like to have as much gold as you can get for your team, and of course for yourself as well, to really go and scale beyond Worlds. And to me, this is a good thing or a good call for Sunspark, being patient. They're not really in a rush to go for pickoffs, to go for team fights. They're just really patient right now, and really waiting for that opportunity to really pin down the Valir per se, or the Claude, or any of the squishier heroes of ULVL to just go for that cleanup. But then again, ULVL right here is actually doing a pretty similar thing. They're also not engaging when it's not needed. But speaking of engaging, looks like they will be getting Escanor right here. Ling will be going for that ult, and that range is enough to go for that pickoff.
Oh boy, again, it's all gonna be on to JP, free 0 and 2 on that Ling, and of course Tower to boot just boosts the itemization of Sunsparks by massive amount here. They are 2,000 gold lead ahead so far of ULVL, and I think they still want to go for more.
Whoa.
They're gonna go for the bottom lane. It's basic on the Esmeralda, playing around onto the bush, but not gonna be able to escape. A kill going over to Sunsparks once more, and maybe a tower.
Sunsparks do not want to waste time, Rockhart, because transitioning from top all the way to the bottom to get those pickoffs as much as possible, it's a sign that they really want to end this, and they will be ending this with the all-over efficiency of the Ling that Sunspark has right now. But ULVL's gonna be here. It's gonna be a very messy fight. Onto the top side, there will be a tower dive going to commence, but they will be flickered out with a break of help. But let's see up to what extent. Looks like KLVJ is onto the harassment right here, but 2 is gonna be there to just go and poke and beyond. They are on separate ways, but the Cobra gets a kill for himself. Abusing that low health of an Atlas right there. It was messy, it was crowded, it was scattered. It was all out, but still, it was on the hands of Sunsparks, who has the advantage.
Yeah, they got ahead here in the early team fights just because they already forced Deb to use the flicker in a defensive manner. And after that, they knew it was safe to go for the all-in. You could go in, and ULVL could not answer at all. And that's exactly what happened. Unlimited chase for Sunsparks, giving them a free kill, and not to mention, again, safety is out of the map here for ULVL right now.
I kind of seen what Kilosh is doing right there, but again, Ling will be opting for Unseen right here. Let's see, the Valir will be pushing him away, but then this gives Jay just go for the push.
Man, that's gonna be a very strong push coming in here from Sunsparks if ever that went wrong. Fortunately, ULVL was able to at least hold on to that last bit of safety, and they are going to be able to at least defend second tier turret on mid. Again, how long that's going to be, I'm not sure, because right now itemization looking really good here for that lane. Going for the chase still on the top lane. That's going to be Escanor, going to be following shortly by Basic. Great falling Star Moon. JB forced to go and fly out of the way. Whoa, that was faster than Spider-Man chasing after Mary Jane right there. Top lane gonna be the one here for target in ULVL's arsenal here, and they are just waiting for Sunsparks to make a move.
So far, there are no casualties onto that messy fight earlier, but again, that left a bit enough space for ULVL to just really go back and just scale and go for economy. But you have to take into consideration the damage output that the Ling is inflicting, and as well as the Fartha. Even though that she's the support right here, the fact that it hurts, especially she has the range to do so, to shove away ULVL, and it gives an allowance to the members of Sunsparks to go for a team fight if that ever happens. But to me, right now, with that messy fight earlier, I think it's kind of like a signal as well for both of them to just really calm down. Because if they went any further, the casualties that can really leave an impact. And speaking of casualties, it's gonna happen right now. Kiloch is gonna be ejected, and Outlast will go for the clean.
There you go. I think that was a big deal. Now there's gonna be one less member to worry about, especially it's a Cho, right? That is great for ULVL, making use of Deb on that flicker. But now it's gonna be the revenge here on Unseen. Unfortunately, that is a huge loss as well, stopping ULVL. You thought you were safe for a few moments? Well, JP has something else to say about that. It's gonna be Sunsparks going on the hunt again. They're not done as of yet.
I mean, Sunsparks don't really knows how to do overkills right there. I mean, that was 1 in 3 earlier onto the bottom side. But going back right here, Escanor will be forced to back away with half HP. And if you noticed, Rockhart, that even though that the members of ULVL are really grouped together in threes, especially onto the bottom side, Ling knows his priority well. And he wants to target Unseen. Because if you notice, he's really giving all the ults and the damages to him. And that's because it's a good call for him to deny the output. And speaking of output, the Cooper will be going for that knockdown and goes for the kill. Let's see if Deb will be surviving through. Blazing Duet will not be enough to compensate to that shove. And KLVJ to flicker out and harass the Claw, force it to go back. But not, this is gonna do much, and it will decide to disengage.
Looking good here for Sunsparks, making use of their advantages at the middle part of the game. We are approaching 10 minutes here. It's 5-10 on the kill score. Sunsparks leading still by 6,000. Again, going for basic here. What a failure on that falling star moon gives him wide open for Sunsparks to take a kill. I don't think basic saw that coming at all, Seiya.
Yeah, and that was really uncalled for because, okay, I think I get it that he wanted to have that potential kill, but the fact that the members of Sunsparks are still in the vicinity, they are in the area, and with that, you know, we just seen how the Kufra was able to really aid into the hands of, if I'm not mistaken, the one he tried to knock up was the Ling. But again, going back here into the bottom side, okay, now that was a nice Tyrant's Revenge, but makes it for a shutdown. Let's see. He manages to pick off 2 members from Sunsparks right there, which will be giving him an amount of allowance for resources and gold as well.
Some people that might be a fail, but for me that was absolutely beautiful from Rafflesia. Locking down multiple people with the Tyrant's Rage slows them down. It actually disables them completely from going into a Lord take, which is going to be a huge advantage. The death timers are going to be a little bit more forgiving. I think Rafflesia might actually make it in time for a big push if ever they do want to go for it. And that resets the game for them. They're back on the map, and they can probably take a team fight if they want to. So great job for Sunsparks. However, of course, the Lord will be taken out of account. JP on the backside goes in for the Tempest Blades. Only will be able to do some damage, not going to be able to finish off Unseen just of yet. And KLVJ gets a kill on the backside. Kiluwash with knock upon the Chew, not going to be mattering that much, as Lord's still alive, and Super Minions are on top and bottom.
Like what I mentioned earlier with the side of Ling, right here, really prioritizing the Valir target. But going back right here, it's going to be ejected. Rafflesia's on low health. Valir will be going for the kill. But again, that is a turn take for the side of Ling and will go back into a comfort space. But again, it seems that Kevin J is on a pinch right here. Let's see if they will be having any more backups. Yes, they will. Esmeralda will be having a kill. And Ling will be cornered. Will he be picked off? No, he is going to stay. In time.
Seriously.
In time, too. In time.
Seriously, right? JP's just going nuts. He is nuts on this Ling. No matter what kind of mistakes Sunsparks commits, this guy just does not want to fall down. Proves absolute mastery of that hero here from JP. So, again, commendations for that. But, again, we are not done as of yet on the map. Right now, it's going to be Chu absorbing all of the critical hits. Who's going to go down first? It will be JP! Oh, my God! What a beautiful outplay from Chu! They are back in it. That's one big damage dealer against the biggest damage dealer on the map. And looks like ULVL can take a big fight on the top lane.
You were mentioning how the mastery of, JP has it with the Ling. Let's go back into that replay.
Let's go.
Real quick. Okay, there goes the shove. Blazing Duet's gonna be utilized, really abusing that range, and goes for that normal hit kill. But again, going back right here into our present times, it looks like Claude has snagged the kill for himself. will be forced to go back right now, and it seems like the immortality will be proc, but not enough to survive hell. And going here, transitioning now into, I think this is a good opportunity now for Chu to just get the resources everywhere, just as long as he could, because earlier we've seen some deficits on the side of ULVL, but them managing to really get back up for this early potential of a comeback is something really new and interesting for ULVL.
It is absolutely new here, and I'm not sure if that was just a miscalculation there, but overall, I feel like ULVL, they're actually doing pretty good in at least taking every opportunity that they are being given. And I think that's a very important factor here. If you want to keep this train rolling, if you want to get on the comeback train, you got to be able to recognize those small moments that you are presented, opportunities, if you will, that they can probably take advantage of. And I think they still have the tools to do that. So let's see if that's going to be happening here on the bottom lane.
Lord, resurrecting soon. Take that kill for himself, which is really optimal because there are more people there. Where the dragons and music and basic, but the link will be backing him up for that. Let's see if they will anytime soon. That was a knockup, but that was a good choice to go and back away.
Oh, okay. So right as I said, they probably could have come back. They answer. Nah, no, we're not gonna do that, Rockhart.
Yeah, I know.
Happens all the time. I'm not gonna speak at all at this point, right? Just let him do it. Tyrant's Rage gonna be missed, of course, with the Purify from Escanor. Trying to see if he can keep the Lord in vision while the rest of the team tries to see if they can go in. It looks like he will be alone for this fight against 4 people going for the Lord. Will be stopped here by Rafflesia, and that's gonna be balanced out here. Chu wanted to go for the team fight, but will be denied as well. And looks like that will be just kills going over to the side of ULVL, despite, again, JP outplayed by Chu there. Gonna be going for a chase, and that is another one. 2-0 on the 1v1 counter. But again, this is not 1v1, this is Mobile Legends, the real deal, the team fight. And so far, Sunsparks is still way ahead with a Lord advantage.
But you have to really take note of Chu right there, because as the game progresses, he is scaling up. And the more damage that he gets and the more resources that he takes, this Chu can be the potential key of ULVL to have this game turned around and about. Because all he has to do is pin down at least the Farsa or the Ling, and then it's good and done for the side of ULVL. But this is the question, will Sunsparks let that happen? Of course not. The main objective right here is to sustain and go for that potential pickoff and really protect as well.
Oh no. Fatal links on a single target. That's what I was afraid of. And now ULVL are not going to be able to take the team fights for sure. And I think they realize that they are slowly backing off. Uranus on the top side might not make that much of a difference, but now it's going to be Sunsparks barreling down the mid lane. This could be the last team fight if this is not taken care of properly. That's going to be a big problem. Chu is going to be chased off by Kill and Killuash here. Going to go for the body battle mirror image. Will he be able to make it out? He will! Of course, JP is still here with the Blakes. Do it. Not going to be enough this time. That is 2-1 on the 1v1. It's going to be over if they don't make it out here alive. Unseen will be chased down, and that's Bavalier going down to the feathered airstrike. And now Escanor in the mid lane trying to see if he can clear up that minion wave. Not going to be happening anytime soon. Sunsparks is now inside the base of ULVL.
Yes, and knowing this, they don't really necessarily have to get the pick off. They just need to really distract these 3 members of ULVL for that potential base take. And this is what JP is trying to do. Okay, let's see right now. Okay, ult will be used. Fatal Links will be going to clump them in, but that is not enough. You have to take out, they lack the damage dealer, which is Chu. And the Farsa will just utilize the range that they have to shovel away the members of ULVL. And I think this is it.
Yeah, that's it. 2 tanks not gonna be able to clear up that minion wave at all. Congratulations for Sunsparks taking game 1 against ULVL.
Yes, pretty. But you know what? This was a pretty close fight. This, in comparison to the fights that we've witnessed with ULVL around. I mean, look at the stats right here. 15 to 20. It's not really bad, but the important thing here is that, ULVL still managed to almost managed to make it through with the help of Chu. If there was a little more space given, and if there was a bit of allowance through, and if the Valier was also not the pinpoint of the target, it could have been something for ULVL. But again, this is Sunsparks, our defending champion, Rockhart. So, as much as I'd like to, have our commentaries right here, let's, have the panelists do their thing. Wolf, Reptar, and Leo take us away.
Thanks so much, Rockhart and Seo, for the wonderful commentary of the very close game. It was a really tough match for Sunsparks. We thought that they would win, and the fact that we were talking about the draft being even really presented itself in the game itself. It was really close. Man, JP biting off more than he can chew with that Ling, but that was Sunsparks. Yeah, in the end, they still prevailed. Reptar, Leo, what did you see in that game?
What I saw is the usual approach to handling ULVL. ULVL, I'd like to see them as a team that has 3 pillars. Their 3 pillars are Basic, Unseen, and Escanor. You pressure 2 of those pillars, and then you're good. ULVL's gonna have a really hard time coming back. But what we saw there was, yes, Escanor and Chu were really pressured. Sunsparks barely touched Basic, and they really just put a lot of focus on pressuring Escanor, pressuring Unseen, but then they didn't expect Chu from out of nowhere was the unseen one, and there was a time where I really felt like, oh, maybe ULVL could actually take this, turn it around, because that one-on-one between Chu and JP was really sick. Like, where everyone, they were just trading ultimate, so I really thought ULVL had this, but in the end, Leo said something off stream about a failure to convert from ULVL. I think he can expound more about that.
Yeah, definitely. I think when you're looking at a draft this tight, and kudos to ULVL, we were saying that they lacked a foundation, or they weren't creative enough. Sometimes that's not what you need. Sometimes you just really need to get, good old fashioned onto the field and make it work. And here they almost did. But Reptar mentioned that there was a lack of conversion from those team fights they were winning. To be honest, ULVL here, they really put JP and the gang on their back foot. And here you'll see that one moment, I think one of them, wherein Chu really gave JP a run for his money. So yeah, I was saying off stream and right now explaining there was a lack of ULVL converting their wins, and yeah, they were taking trades 3 for none, 2 for nones against Sunsparks, and yeah, I was about to say as well that JP here, his Ling almost expired. Because, early on, especially at level 4, you're always going to say that the Ling lineup is going to eat up what ULVL was bringing to the table. But no, ULVL really brought a fight. So I really think that it was a lack of conversion. If you really put the pedal to the metal, especially after you win those team fights, those pickoffs, ULVL really could have stolen this series from Sunsparks. But no, I think Sunsparks' veteran experience, especially with that, technical hashtag asterisk 2-time champion Kilowash on their lineup, they take care of their lanes. Really, right? Technically.
Yeah,
it's part of 2 championship teams. That's what it is.
Yep.
But I think a championship performance would have to be onto the Flesh once again. It's getting ridiculous at this point how he is able to surprise us time and time again with this Gufra. Actually, while we were watching the highlights, I think the audience heard me. I was screaming because Raflisha, again, I don't understand how he threads the needle this time. Goes through, like, imagine you're a Kufra doing your Tyrant's Revenge, and you're facing against 2 enemies, but you want to hit the enemy at the back. No, I don't understand how he does it. He hits it perfectly well. But you know what? I want to go back to...
I said it in one of my casts that Raflesha, if he reaches a point where he has to retire from Mobile Legends, he has a future as a tailor. And a really good one with how he threads the needle. Really, and I am petitioning Moonton to please, if possible, you could change the name of Tyrant's Revenge to either Raflesha's Revenge or Tyrant's Raflesha. Because, Raflesha with that one skill is just almost always automatic.
Yeah. It was automatic.
That or like work on the portrait and 3D model of Kufra and just put Chan Fahura's face on it. Just do that.
Oh yeah.
One or the other. One or
Like
the other.
or make a Rafflesia skin for a Kufra, right? Somewhere
Yes,
in between,
yes, just
like having
just like
the plant.
Kufra. I mean, just like Harith.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like Harith's
Yeah, just
Evil
like Harith.
Legends light skin.
Yeah.
Give one for Kufra. That would be
Come
money.
on, give
Instant
it.
money.
Oh, give it. This guy is a walking highlight reel for Kufra, and we aren't even kidding. He is really the master of this hero. I mean, it's amazing to think about. Now, I want to go back a little bit into the draft, and we were talking about this ULVL versus Sunsparks game one, where it was really close. But I think at a certain point, I did say that the hyper carry of Sunsparks will have a better time as compared to ULVL, while the side laners will have a better time for ULVL compared to Sunsparks, and I think it did materialize in there. Nevertheless, I would have to give it to Chu. Chu played his heart out this game. Basic and Escalor might have underperformed what we expected, as we know that the Silener should be having a great time. But man, this guy on the COD, I think the most crucial death was during his last death against JP. But apart from that, he really almost carried his team to the end. But however, it's Sunsparks with a better championship mindset, better control of the game, better understanding of how to play Mobile Legends, that they were able to win that match. And I am excited to see more of Chu. Now, ULVL needs a hero. ULVL needs to have that leader that could really flip the switch and just make them come back to the game. And it might be Chu to step up. What do you think about
Here's
that,
what's
guys?
interesting. I have a working theory or like a question in my mind. ULVL and Sunsparks, they went head to head in that draft. And even in like maybe 70-80% of the game, ULVL was putting it up against the champions, right? I'm thinking and I'm feeling this is such a strong gut feel that ULVL was frustrated by that matchup. Don't you guys agree? Like you get so close to taking that series against the defending champions, and it came down to the wire. You weren't able to penetrate their base, and you lose game one. This has got to take such a toll on the morale and the mindset of ULVL going into game two.
Yeah. And if I were ULVL here, if one way to sort of alleviate that stress of frustration that you felt like you could have had that game and going into this one, try to put more comfort picks into your pillars, into either Unseen, Escanor, and Basic. I would propose that hopefully ULVL would consider putting Escanor on that Jawhead again. We've seen Escanor to be one of the best Jawhead users in the MPL. During the first few weeks, he was pulling off some really crazy stuff. Some Galaxy Brain plays there. On that Jawhead, so seeing him on the Jawhead might do good. And look at this, Sunsparks just taking away the Esmeralda of Basic right away, which does beg the question, what else can Basic play here other than his Esmeralda?
Man, I'm loving the Esmeralda first pick nowadays because it's such a power pick in a way that your opponent will have to react a lot. If you imagine first picking the Esmeralda, it's not like your core hero. It's not like your win condition. But what it does as a pick is that it rids away the Uranus picks from your opponents, which by the way ULVL will not do. And also forces your opponents to go for bursts. And also you can last pick your Uranus if ever. That's what ULVL did. But ULVL says, okay, Wolf, you're wrong. No. Shut up, Wolf. Jawhead has shields, but we don't care about Esmeralda. Uranus is gonna struggle against Esmeralda, but we don't care, Wolf.
I don't get it. What's up with the Uranus getting picked after the Esmeralda? It's basic.
God.
Esmeralda sucks up shields. Don't pick heroes or a lot of heroes that uses shields as their main mechanic. And they picked two of them. They picked I'm okay with the Jawhead. I'm a bias for Jawhead if it's gonna be Escanor playing it. But then you're picking two heroes that generate shields going up against that Esmeralda. But let's flip the switch right now. Sunsparks continuing their draft. They went with the Claude and the Cho. Some good pick-off potential there for any divers. Claude, we've seen, has been consistently one of the best, if not the best marksman right now in this current meta. that Kajo pick by ULVL would make sense, but they do go for the Natalia instead. Leo, with the Natalia being picked out here by ULVL, do you think that's gonna be enough against what Sunsparks has been showing right now?
No, the Natalia doesn't. Well, very little interacts with what Sunsparks is bringing onto the table, and it seems like ULVL is on a whole another like galaxy, if you will. You mentioned Galaxy Brain Plays. This is so different. It's like ULVL is on a whole different track. To be honest, it's like they're playing a different game from Mobile Legends. And true, in the earlier parts of the season, they were able to do that alongside Geek Fam to think on outside of the box and steal some wins, steal some series from the other teams in the league. But right here, right now, it's not looking good for the win rate of heroes like Uranus and Kaja. While on the other hand, Sunsparks here looking to up the 55% of Esmeralda. So this is I'm liking Sunsparks so far. And if this continues, it might be a 2-0. We might call it a night earlier on.
That is more than likely, as ULVL, if you lock this Lilia in, I'm gonna lose it. Alright, I have officially lost it.
He lost it. Wolf has lost the ability to can. Wolf cannot anymore, guys. He has lost the ability to can.
I have nothing. I have nothing, my friends. Sunsparks still, they are gonna go back to the championship Cupra and gonna close it up, top it off with a Kaja, because what's gonna stop them?
Why not?
Nothing.
Look at this.
Absolutely nothing.
Look at this. If they take this, you look in the dictionary of Mobile Legends eSports, and this is the definition of a dive composition from a championship team. This is it. Look at that. Sunsparks, I love the draft. Look at that.
Hellcurt.
Oh, Reptar, what was that? Oh,
there was.
I'm speechless.
We
I'm
have
sorry.
lost it.
You guys, I'm speechless. I'm speechless.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has been reported that Reptar and Wolf's wigs have been snatched and found on the face of Mars. They cannot.
My hairline's already receding, and it receded even more after the draft.
I have officially lost the ability to can, but what we can expect from this is Sunsparks. I cannot bet against this. This is way too good of a draft for Sunsparks, and that'd be a fool to go with ULVL. So it's gonna be 2-0. Gonna sleep early tonight, boys. How about you?
Yeah.
Yes. That's it. Yes.
Yes.
Here's the thing. If ULVL takes this game, I'm shaving half of my mustache. All right? Sunsparks.
Oh, you better.
Okay.
Let's go.
Remind Leo of that. Never forget what he just said.
All right. Never forget what he just said. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of, I don't know even how to construct sentences after seeing that draft. That's how ridiculous it was. Let's pass it on to the casters, and hopefully we see something different from what we expected. Rocket and Seiya, take it away.
I'll be honest, that is... You know that moment where they lock it in on the second form, is like second phase, is like everyone in the whole world was like they were they all just went like that, right? Like everyone in the bar, in the airport, everyone was like,
yes.
Anyway,
that's
gonna be
for the night.
Yeah, it's gonna be with me for the night. Everyone, how are you? Welcome back to the caster table. I'm Rockhart. This is Seiya, giving you game 2 for ULVL and Sunsparks. So, predictions from the table were, the analyst desk were, we're gonna be sleeping early tonight. Seiya has something to say about that for sure.
Well, okay, fine. Let's give it a bit of a recap as to why our panelists have that say, and probably rendered speechless. But like what I've said, this is game number 2 between Sunsparks and ULVL, and let's break it down, okay? For the first picks, okay, Esmeralda was coming to play. I mean, we all love that. Jawhead Uranus, it's already a question, because like what they've said earlier. But you know what? To make it all short, the Natalia Lilia Hellcurt is what made me go down the drain, unfortunately. So, and to top it all off, Sunsparks had let's say this if you're making Ratatouille, this is the perfect mix, you know? This is the one of the perfect lineups that you could ever have in your overall draft. I mean, you'd be really happy. But
let's go! Road to
Leo
shaving half of his mustache. Let's go! Let's go! Let's do it!
Okay, First Blood will be going into the hands of ULVL. Okay, JP will be ejected and will be forced to use his kits to really go out of that sneaky fight. So far, early game aggression is with the hands of ULVL. Let's not count them out like now, but again, going back, Zeb receiving all the damage right here, and it's really just enough to poke the members of ULVL away. Oh my!
At least barely enough, but again, we still are seeing that ULVL, despite the shaky draft, they are still able to at least utilize some of their advantages. For example, this Helker great in those early game poison stingers, but the problem is, again, how long can they keep that up? That's always going to be my question whenever someone makes a very good start. And that's what's going to be the difference maker here. Oh my god, Helker, Dark Knight Falls takes it off the Kaja. Will they get more? Apparently so. That is going to be 2 down for Sunsparks. Bottom lane still, we also see Escanor just dashing it in around the Cho. And now top lane is going to be wide open here for ULVL to go ahead and take it.
I was about to say earlier that ULVL has good early game aggression, and they are showing it right now. They are demonstrating it right now, and that's a good thing. But I would also agree with you with the question, how long? Because basically, if you are going to look at the overall draft of Sunsparks, they are in it to win it, and they could last all day with this kind of draft. So that leaves me the question, will ULVL be able to end this with the early game potential? Because once we reach the mid to late, it's going to be very difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like it's going to be hugely difficult. He's got an emergency alert on my phone. Absolutely everything you could hope for, Sunsparks will be able to handle, I think, in the later parts of the game. But again, ULVL has a small window where they can fully utilize Unseen on the Natalia. I'm pretty sure that's going to be his signature hero if they manage to win this game. Sunsparks championship caliber team going at you right there. Now they're camping on bot lane. I think Sunsparks detects this. They are waiting and they're not clashing directly with ULVL, which is just the right play to do. And now it's going to be the bottom lane here for ULVL. It's pretty free. That Helker is hitting like a boss. It looks like that's going to be bottom lane tower going down here for ULVL. And mid lane will be the answer here for Sunsparks. That gold lead is not that far off, but it's still in the favor of the red side.
Definitely, but going back, it was a good call for Kilowatch to not really go into the rushes earlier, or else that would be an extra pickup for the side of ULVL. And the same thing, you know, Sunsparks just really being patient, not going onto the aggressive side, and this is what ULVL is really abusing right now. They know that later in the parts of the game will Sunsparks be able to move because they require some time in terms of economy and scaling, specifically giving space to this squad. But going back right here, this is what ULVL is initially trying to do. They are utilizing this. The more that they give space to the quad, this means a potential pickoff. But speaking of potential pickoff, looks like Falling Star will be onto Deb. Deb will be catching them all, but it's enough to give space to push that tower.
Oh my gosh! 3,000 gold lead here for ULVL. They are being given a very hard time here. Of course, they will go into him. Dark Knight falls! Takes out Green! Will there be more? Apparently so! Deb dives in with that summon force. Rafflesia misses on the Tyrant's Rage. Now will there be an answer? Apparently Kiluash will be giving over to JP that kill. Very good answer, but still, ULVL, what happened there? I think they're not done quite yet. Unseen wants to get something else, but will be stopped right there by JP.
Because ULVL has the stealth potential with the Helkert and with the Natalia, it's no question why they would want to go for skirmishes, fights, and, you know, one-by-one pickoffs right here in our playing field. Because the moment that we will be having one of the biggest clash into the later parts of the game, they would be at a disadvantage once they utilize the Dark Knight Falls and alongside with Natalia's kit as well. You have to take note that there is this certain window wherein Sunsparks can turn this game around, and that is what ULVL is trying to prevent.
But looks like it's going to be a small mistake here. Dark Knight falls immediately after. the pullback here,
Oh.
but looks like the team fight is still way too massive here for Sunsparks. Perfectly played on that engagement around the turtle pit. Wow, I gotta say, yeah, absolutely, that's how you play it.
Definitely, this is the replay that we have right now. I did mention that they need a certain window for Sunsparks to turn this game around, and that was the divine judgment that Deb was already inflicted on, and followed by the blazing duet, and all throughout the kits of all the crowd control that Sunsparks has in their deck. So that's the window that we needed, or Sunsparks needed, in order to just make up for the loss that they have during the first 6 minutes of our game.
Yeah, and again, first 6 minutes are super important, but what's more important? Closing it out, which seems to be becoming a problem for ULVL. Now they're getting picked off one by one. Tyrant's Rage follows straight into the falling Starbone. Everyone is blind, but they are still fighting. What a perfect team fight here coming from Sunsparks. They are still going hard. KLVJ still in the middle of everything. Greed is still on that Kaja, still very, very, very healthy, and now Sunsparks, they are pushing ULVL back despite the huge early game advantage that they got.
And you know what the good thing about here is, Rockhart? The fact that Sunsparks were able to escalate this from 0 to 100 real quick is making a statement. You know what? Don't mess with us just because you had a very good early game potential. And this is what they're showing us right now. The fact that they were able to turn this around gets the map control in a not too dominant, but they managed to give allowance for themselves, is something that you have to take into account for. Now what does ULVL have to do? Because we are going down into the middle phases of their game, which means that they have a slight disadvantage because, like what I said earlier, ULVL has the early game potential, but come the mid game, this is what we are seeing right now. Helkrit will be getting a pick off from himself, but the Kaja will be having a Divine Judgment alongside with the Blazing Duet. Natalia will be having that Inferno, but again, this is the Claude. It was a wrong target, and now we are seeing Unseen trying to be stealthy, but not enough because Raflisa says, you can't see me, right? But I can't see you.
What the potato was Escanor doing there on the mid lane? That should have been... That was a clean fight. They could have actually taken that. JP was not in a good spot yet in terms of damage output. That team fight went on for a full minute, and it still did not go... I mean, it wasn't quick. It wasn't as clean as we thought it would be from Sunsparks. Let's have a look at that again.
Okay, we are now seeing that the Dark Knight Falls was proc, but of course, at the same time with Kaja's Divine Judgment and the Blazing Duet. And looking right here, really just getting dispersed, and Raflisha just really good with the prediction place, just really spotting out the Natalia onto the brushes, which really turned the tables around right now in terms of gold and, pick off kill takes rather. And I think I want to say it's safe because I think this might go in a way a smooth direction for the side of Sunsparks. I think Leo will be saving his mustache, right?
That is basically that's a takeaway from all of this, right? Leo's mustache. But going back there, I feel like there were two team fights where I saw Escanor split pushing really hard on the Uranus while everyone was fighting. I gotta say it's not looking good here. It's starting to look like it's not just a draft problem, it's a coordination problem here for the rest of ULVL from what's happening here. Again, that's twice in a row where they fought in the 4v5, almost actually gave an even fight. But again, the edge was to the team that had the better collapse. Now, was Escanor justified in going for the split push? He didn't even break second tower. So what the heck was that about, right? That's my only thing that's the only thing that's been running around my mind for the past few moments.
And if you notice that in every team fights that come into play, okay, sure, the Helkrit has that early aggression getting pickoffs. But the thing is, their Lilia, one of their core damagers, is not given that position, or not given the space, rather, to really just go for the cleanup and go for the potential that, or the efficiency, rather, that the Lilia can bring. Because the thing is, number one, she is one of the preferred targets because, of course, squishy, and you don't want any more disturbances in terms of your team fights. Number two, like what I said earlier, once the Dark Knight Falls is already used alongside with his kit, what more do you need to do? the best thing that you have to do is to really escape. And that's the thing. The fact that Sunsparks can really pinpoint your location is another +1 pickoff for them. So I think that is where ULVL is having a difficulty at in terms of initiating fights and how to really compensate their overall damage output.
Yeah, because if you look at it, the initiation probably isn't the big problem. It's a follow through, right? I mean, if you go in a team fight and you are complete there, Dark Knight falls, great, perfect, right? And then you have a Lilia bombarding everyone who's in a compressed area. But after the 5 bombs go off and everyone's still alive, who's there to finish it off, right? Only Unseen.
Yes.
Like right now, though, great Dark Knight Falls attempt there. Oh, very, very cheeky play there coming from Kiluash. And on the top lane, it's going to be JP Blaze Duet here. On Escanor, going to be slapping him a little bit on the bottom just because of what he did. Bottom lane going to be a different story, though. 4-man collapse and the tower falls. Top lane will be answered by Sunsparks. But I think ULVL this time, they are on the right track to get back.
They paid attention in terms of split pushing capacities because I think they sort of expected this to happen because once comes the middle phases of our game, I think they already know that they might be in a pinch in terms of damage output. So that was a good call for ULVL to actually really retaliate the split pushing abilities of Sunspark is doing onto the top side. That was a good call, but again, this is barely it. They need to do something that could really lock this game down. And if you notice, of course, the Lord is already up. JP will be ejected. But again, this is a risky fight because you're already alone. Divine Judgment will be there for you alongside with your other kits. And they only invested into, what, how many resources? And they have quick cooldowns. And what's the funny thing here is that they are dispersed in a manner wherein ULVL might have difficulty in engaging team fights. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, oh my god, what a scrappy team fight, by the way. Unseen all alone, everyone is going solo. They riding solo, boy, and KLVJ. It's every man. It's a man-to-man defense. What are you gonna do, right? KLVJ goes into the Falling Star Moon. What a blunder there, being given the treatment by, of course, Deb on that Jawhead. That was a giveaway. That was a free take, but they are probably still gonna get this Lord. Will they finish it off? Apparently so. And ULVL slipping off each and every time they're given a chance to get back.
I think that Esmeralda, tower dive was actually on purpose, simply because so that Sunsparks would be given allowance for the Lord. Because if you notice, they were already in the direction to go to the Lord's area. But the thing is, I think that Esmeralda pickoff was just for baits. and it did its job, so yeah.
Yeah, they got the Lord like earlier with Rafflesia, remember on game 1?
Yeah.
That's basically all that happened there. KLVJ knew he was not going out of there. Obviously, he was not gonna survive. But he went for it anyway, because the rest of the team was already positioned around the Lord area. And now being given small leeway, the Lord is also gonna be very close to done. It's gonna be great with the flicker in! They catch on to the Escanor, but will be baited, regenerates almost back to half health, but no one is gonna be there to answer at all. No one to defend. Looks like Leo's mustache gonna remain intact as well as the rest of Sunsparks. They want to finish it. They want to call it a night. They clear up target for target, and looks like the minions are the only ones they're waiting for right now.
But again, they still have to be very careful. They just need to wait for the minions, sure. But you still have to take note. I mean, as much as I don't want to give false hope right here, but it looks like I think they will be finishing it off. You know what? And the one thing that I've learned from Sunsparks right here is to really not keep your eyes closed even for a second, because anytime they could turn the tables around. Okay, he will be flickered onto ejected, but again, I think they will be going for the base, and that is it for game number 2 in the hands of Sunsparks.
Clean 2-0 here coming from Black and Blue. It's gonna be Sunsparks basically demolishing ULVL in that game, and I gotta say, it was not a one-sided game for the better half of it, right? It felt like it was going to go to the early game ULVL, but go to the late game Sunsparks. We already knew that, but for a moment there, it almost looked like ULVL could take it all the way home.
Yes, yes.
with small
There was a
decisions, though.
spark of
Small.
hope. Yeah.
Yeah. It was not like what we predicted in the beginning where, this is 0. This is 16-0. It was not. And I have to commend U-Level for that. But what you also have to note, and something we learned about U-Level is they can definitely learn some lessons in decision making.
Again, at the end of the day, Leo gets to keep his stash, and I just realized that my partner right here knows how to rap and does poems. But you know what? Let's see what the panelists think. Wolf and the gang, take it away. Again, this is your casters, Rockhart and Saya.
Thanks so much, Roxana. All right, this guy here had a close call, Leo. Almost.
Put that away. Put that away. Put it away. Put it away. Put it away.
All right. A legend has it. Legend says that Leo almost lost that half of a mustache. But of course, it was Sunsparks keeping it real, keeping it cool. And I think that things started to turn around when there was a fight up top where it was a 5v4 that annihilated U-Level, right? It was a 5v4 in favor of Sunsparks, I think. You know what, Raptor and Leo? You were scared for a bit, for sure. But what did you see in that game, and how did Sunsparks take this home?
But Leo, since you're the one who almost lost half a mustache, why don't you start this?
All right. Well, to be honest, legit, the first 5 minutes of this matchup, I was like at the edge of my seat, man. I was just so scared. And to be honest, the thing about U-Level's lineup was maybe save for Unseen's, save for basics. Save for basics, Lilia. It seemed like they were gonna play on a whole new level and just push what lanes they can off the back of Chu. And Wolf said it. He mentioned that Chu seems to have woken up on the right side of bed.
Yeah,
it was amazing how he was performing those first few minutes, and the Hellcurt really was able to just push the advantage. And it seemed like U-Level had it. I have it in my notes here. Hellcurt, U-Level question mark. But on the other side of the same page, it says Sunsparks. Greed, Kaja, Kill VJ, Esme is back. And, you know, again, the walking highlight reel here, Raflesia on the Kufra. Gotta give it up to him. But really, it was just Sunsparks doing Sunsparks things that pulled them off into the 2-0 in the end. But really, I was so scared. Kudos to U-Level. They really almost just took it home that quick.
And this is really just U-Level couldn't continue the momentum that they had because Sunsparks really just held their ground well.
Yeah.
If they let go of that, if they didn't hold on to it, then really U-Level could have probably taken it. But still, it was very iffy. With the lineup that was brought out in just the draft alone, it's difficult to really stretch out the game. It's more of really U-Level had to make it fast, finish it in under 10 or maybe around 10, and then maybe they can win it. But that's not what we saw. Eventually, Sunsparks just showing up with the plays and countering it.
Yeah. This is why we look like we are overreacting to what the draft had looked like. And even I was looking, are we overreacting? No, the answer is no. This is a result of what we are seeing time and time again in the games. When we react to draft like this, there's a reason behind it. And the fact that Sunsparks have outdrafted U-Level in such a way that U-Level actually shot themselves in the foot, and Sunsparks was also good at the same time, makes it so that even when you play your best game, even when you play your championship game for a losing draft, you will still fall in the grand scheme of things, right? And that's exactly what happened. U-Level with Chu on the forefront, waking up at the right side of the bed, but I guess it's the right side of the wrong bed. But Sunsparks still punish them in the end because there's no way that you are gonna win it, even when you're playing good. It maybe the only way for you to win it is if Sunsparks are playing bad as much as you are playing good, right? But obviously this is a champions. Yeah.
Yeah, here's what's interesting though. Both game 1 and game 2, based on what we predicted, besides the final outcome, game 1, it seemed like the Ling was about to expire, right? Game 2, the draft was just so out there for U level that we didn't even give them the benefit of the doubt for the first 5 minutes. So that in itself is a surprise for us here in this matchup, U level versus Sunsparks. But the thing is, I'm not sure what the math is going to look like, but if and when U level makes it into the playoffs and they play this way and those little tweaks, they tweak those little problems and fix what issues they had in the season, then they might have an awesome performance when we do see the championships.
Yeah, I have a weird question for you guys. I think it's almost sure that Sunsparks have secured their upper bracket match, and U Level got lucky in a way that they are able to secure the playoff spot, but in the lower bracket. But now for U Level, I think that you have to now use your remaining days or your remaining playing days. I think that they have no more matches. Okay, they don't have any more matches, but now that they have what they have is days in preparation for the playoffs. How do you now use your time heading into the playoffs and preparing to hope that you will not perform like this in the actual big stage?
They really just have to. First off, a lot of it starts in the drafting alone. We were mentioning off stream the possible hero pool for U level might be a bit of a question here. So really use the time that you have between now and the playoffs to start bringing in some more heroes into the mix. We mentioned even before it was in the game one pre-game analysis where U level seems to have predictable, unorthodox chemistry to them, meaning that we can expect them to make some weird picks.
Okay.
And they just need to maybe bring it back to basic, pun intended, find some more stable heroes to add into the mix and make that more reliable. So they have a lot of time. It's going to be 2 weeks or so up until the playoffs. If U level can work on that, I can see them maybe going into winning at least maybe 1-2 series in the playoffs if they can just fix that.
Okay. But the thing about U level is you mentioned, Reptar, that you can expect them to do the unexpected, whether that be through their draft or through their in-game or
That's what I
their
was
team
trying to say,
chemistry.
yes.
But But for me, with a team like that, you can't just give them advice that's orthodox or that's conventional. So I think I'll go into something that fits all. The importance of the mental reset. Maybe the draft looked like this because of what happened in game one. And again, you have that morale and that mental state coming into play. So with that being said, I'll just give them a simple tip. Mental reset, that's going to be key.
Mental. Back to basics for U level, I guess, is what we are. We want them to see. Not with the not with basic necessarily, but back to the basics. But yeah, congratulations, Sunsparks. And that has been it for our broadcast for MPL PH Season 5 today. Again, this is presented to us by Smart, and together with the PLDT Smart Foundation in partnership with Smart, we can help our frontliners as we stand together to be the real heroes in these challenging times. Support our frontliners through SMS by texting donate to 3456 as donation is open from April 22 until July 16, 2020. MPL PH Season 5 is also brought to us by our sponsors, Realme Smartphones, Logitech G, our official headset partner, and organized by Moonton. Make sure to check out our 515 e-party as well. It's May 15th of 2020. Sorry, it's not 2015, it's 2020. And the official music video for the 515 e-party is still up. Make sure to join in on the fun and check it out. Reptar, Leo, it's an early night for us, and I hope that you will enjoy it as with me. Now, let's all wait for tomorrow as we will resume MPL PH Season 5 tomorrow. Now, it's good night and good game from us here, the panel. Of course, on behalf of Rockhart and Saya, this is Wolf, Reptar, and Leo signing out. See you tomorrow.
Still waiting for your epic battle? Wait no more. Make the switch to Smart LTE. And experience greatness with the country's fastest mobile data network.
Are you game to be great? Now you can with the new Smart Giga Games 99. Get 1 gig data all day, every day for Mobile Legends and more. Game to be great with Smart Giga Games 99. Let's go!
Realme 6i. Unleash the power. Realme smartphone. Dare to leap.
Still waiting for your epic battle? Wait no more. Make the switch to Smart LTE. And experience greatness with the country's fastest mobile data network.
Are you game to be great?